BowmanDigitalMedia.com.
JoeTheFinanceGuy.com.
I did it. Good. Welcome.
What is going on here? We have, okay, first of all, welcome everybody to a special edition of Joe the Finance Guy, where we have Batman, we have Catwoman, and we have Iron Man in the hizzy.
Yep.
Wait, there's Tony Stark's revealing his behind the scenes.
Yeah, I know. We got RDJ on.
Yeah, we got Nancy Barrows and Brian Schulman. Guys, welcome to the show. We do this every Friday. You guys remember Seinfeld, the show about nothing?
Yes.
That's what we do. We drink coffee. I actually literally do drink coffee. Joe, at this time of day, because it's after 5 o'clock on Friday, he's drinking something heavier usually.
Oh, no, not today. I'm actually drinking. Oh, wow. You can't see it.
It's invisible.
Yeah, the green, because it's invisible. But
it's drinking that green crap.
It's the green stuff. I'm actually in green too. So it's funny. It matches right. That's wow. That's pretty. I love that.
It's very transparent of you.
By the way, I'm very good at doing nothing, so I should rock this show.
Oh, that's
it. We got a lot of good comments, Joe. If you want to start cycling those through, everybody, we want to welcome all of you to the show. If you want to tell us where you're from, we would love to get your name up in lights. I know a lot of people get a kick out of that. Also, if you're coming to us from Facebook or YouTube, welcome. It's not just a LinkedIn show. It's LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. We're going to have some fun today. Before we get too deep into the shenanigans, which I'm sure will be plentiful, I mean, just look at their faces. I want to make sure everybody knows. Nancy, you're probably the newest to LinkedIn, I think, and you're ladies. So let's do ladies first. Let's just, could you give us a backstory, who you are, what you do, and, we'll have some fun later.
Sure. Okay. So, yeah, I am pretty new to LinkedIn, 6 months in at this point. So I'm in my infancy, but I've had the fortune of great community and great mentors and meeting great people like you, Ira, Joe, and Brian, who have really just brought me under their wing and showed me around LinkedIn in a way that has allowed me to be really successful. So I appreciate that. So I came onto LinkedIn and was unintentionally started telling my story. And I was on a live show and it was talking about connection and being real and authentic and having those kinds of conversations with people. And I realized during the conversation, I kept referring to my childhood trauma. So in that, I all of a sudden was telling about my childhood and the trauma that I went through and started to tell my story and got a lot of reaction for it. And I'm going to quickly just give the warning to everyone. It's not an easy story to hear, but I had been sexually abused by my grandfather till I was 16 years old. And I knew that my story was bigger than me, that there were people out there who would hear it and it would resonate with them. And the fact that I was able to tell my story and able to tell it from a place of really being thriving, in my adulthood and having done the work was important to me. And as I've been on LinkedIn, it just continues to evolve. It's like talking about trauma in general, talking about the skills that I have from my experience that I can share with others, and I have 2 live shows now that I'm a part of. And yes.
One on Saturday, I hear.
Well, believe it or not, it's in addition to the time I spend on Shout Out Saturday and What's Good Wednesday. On Thursday nights, Island of Misfit Toys is at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, and I'm a co-host there. And then I officially have my own show, which is Sunday nights at 5 p.m. and it's called Connected Human Conversations, which is where I took this idea of authentic conversations showing up being the most important part Just show up, because everything that's happened for me on LinkedIn has been because I showed up.
I'm gonna have to check those out. And first of all, I didn't know you were sexually abused as a child. I can relate. I actually had some of those same experiences, not from my grandfather, but I was abused at 5 years old. That was the first time. So I can relate. I understand. And I think it's important to share these stories, not for, sometimes people do it for the wrong reasons, like they're trying to get, glory or whatever. I could care less about that. But I do know that opening up about the bad stuff has allowed me to help people get through it.
Right.
Sometimes it's more fresh to them. And also just to like show people it's possible to get past it too. So,
absolutely. It's a lot of why I'm there too, is I've had people, contact me. They've never told anyone.
Yeah.
And these are people who have lived with it their whole life. It's not, it's not what happened to me at 16 years old, where I started telling my story very awkwardly because I had to at 16, but throughout the course of my adult life, it's always been part of the narrative for me. And again, when I was in the thick of it, I didn't think this was possible.
Yeah.
I thought I was broken beyond repair. And that was the end of it. So I am out there to be a voice for people to have hope. I'm out there for them to feel less alone. And I thank you, Ira, for bravely sharing, because I do think it makes a difference. And when you start this conversation, one of the things that does happen is you realize the statistics are all wrong. They'll tell you 1 in 3, 1 in 4. Those are the people who will answer the question, yes.
That's the reported number. That's not the truth, right?
Right.
That's the story. Yeah.
And I know that, and I'm not here to add on. I'm 50. I mean, there's a lot of things. And Nancy, I'm sorry you went through that. Being a grandfather myself, there is nothing I wouldn't do for my 2 granddaughters. And if anybody touched them, I'm pretty sure I would kill them.
Oh, I had to beg my father not to. Literally hanging onto his leg, not letting him go.
And I can't see anybody that would do that to somebody. So thank you for sharing, Nancy.
Well,
I'm shocked that you've only been on for 6 months.
Yeah, I forget.
Am I wrong on thinking this, Brian?
I'm going to tell you, I fell out of my chair because
I thought
I looked at your profile the other day when you made a post. And I don't know, it's a bad habit, I guess. I looked at how many people you're connected to and stuff, and I almost fell on my chair. I'm like, come on, people. Why wouldn't you connect to Nancy? You gotta get on that right now. That is so dumb that it's like you're an undiscovered treasure.
Right.
So, oh my gosh.
I'm gonna help prop you up.
Put you on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Nancy Deborah, the undiscovered treasure.
I do follow you Friday. I started this thing, Follow Me Friday, like 3 years ago, and I kind of let it die. And then I thought, some people took it the wrong way because it was like follow me. I could give a rip if you follow me or not. It's really about helping people get more followers. So I changed it to Follow You Friday. And next week Friday, everybody, I'm going to be highlighting Nancy Barrows. She's going to be the star of that show.
That's what I'm talking about.
Come on, we're going to get.
And this is that piece of just showing up.
Yeah, just showing up.
It is.
That's what it is. I mean, Brian and I have known each other for years. I feel like we're old friends. So Nancy is the new one to the party. But that's the thing. I was like, I really did. I was like, really? That's it? Like, what's going on there? You're not antisocial. So
see, and I didn't know about, I knew about Brian's show. And then when I turned on one time after our show got done,
Brian's one of the
grandfathers. Joe was on at the same time.
Shout out grandfathers of LinkedIn Live. I've been on LinkedIn Live almost since the beginning, but I did get rejected for that very first rollout, Brian. So, I picked it up like 3 weeks later. They gave it to me.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we've been going live so long, like you forget that it's new to some people. So
yeah. Well, even LinkedIn video is new to people, right? I mean, it's like it's crazy how fast time goes by.
That is awesome. Look what Tim did too. That's good stuff, Tim.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
Wait. Let me see that again.
Wait till next week when you see Follow Me Friday. Follow You Friday is going to be Nancy's. It's going to be the Nancy show.
Oh man, thank you. I really that. Means the world to me. You could be choosing anyone, and the fact that you're choosing me is humbling, and I so appreciate that.
I'm going to tell you a secret. I learned this a long time ago. Life is about you give what you get. So if you want more, give more. It's that simple. I mean, I made a whole thing out of Project Help You Grow. I mean, people go, Ira, how did you build your social media empire? Simple. I gave as much as I possibly could through Project Help You Grow. And I'm a nobody with buck teeth. I'm the least. When people meet me in person, they're like, you're short, you're stubby, you're not good looking. All I have is humor. That's all I have to go off of. But,
well, you got cool white glasses. So, I mean.
And these are cheap. So let me tell you, I buy these from a website called Zenni.com because, I have 8 kids. So it's Zenni.com, or I think it's Zenni Optical now. They updated it. But anyways, if you do Zenni, it'll work. So these are bifocals because I'm old. And they cost me, I think, $50 at the door. So that's the frames, the lenses, the shipping, all of it. $50 for bifocals. I can buy single vision for like $25.
You make those glasses look good, buddy.
Thanks, man. And I've got like 7 pairs of glasses sitting right here too, so I could put on green or red or blue or whatever. But anyways, let's get back to this story. Okay, so Nancy, because not enough people know you, I want to spend a little bit of time just asking you some questions if you guys are cool with it. And let's dig into this. What do you do for a living? How do you pay the bills?
Okay. I am a speech-language pathologist, and I work part-time in the public schools, and I have a private practice part-time. And I do coaching. So I bring all of my knowledge from communication disorders and sciences that I work with in a therapeutic setting to the coaching. My baby, my favorite piece of it is what we would call social cognition, social thinking. Yeah. So it used to be we were going to teach you social skills, but I can't teach you how to introduce yourself in every possible scenario, right? It's going to be different with a family member, a boss, somebody you're meeting for the first time, an old friend, and I can't manage to possibly come up with all of those and teach them to you. So it's more looking at the situation, looking for the clues, taking perspective and sort of all of these pieces that go into what we all do every day, but breaking it down. So that's my love and my baby. And I bring that along anywhere I go. And yeah, I'm a speech language pathologist in the LA area. And that's
but you're in LA?
My day job. Yes, I'm in Los Angeles.
Dude, we got to get together.
I
live in the Inland Empire.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I have 8 children. I can't afford to live in LA. But I can afford to live out here in Riverside. So I live just south of Riverside in a town called Moreno Valley. But I go to LA all the time. So yeah, we'll get together. We'll do a video together. I don't know if you know this. I'm a professional photographer. So I'll take some pictures of you and, we'll have some fun with it. I have a heart to help people, especially those who are in the fight, recovering and helping others. So love it. I imagine that you got into this speech pathology thing as a way to help give back those who are traumatized.
I unknowingly did. Looking back, I see how I was naturally drawn to speech pathology. It is giving people voice, the ability to communicate. I lost my voice growing up. I didn't have a voice, right? That was something that was just, right? It's just part of what happens in trauma situations, especially in abuse in a family member. And so without thinking, right, I went into the business of giving people voice, the ability to communicate and connect with other people. I also ended up working in a neighborhood that I love, which was, a low socioeconomic, undocumented, food insecure, housing, and everything you can think of. And so that when those kids come through the door, trauma is the norm, not the exception.
Right. That's where I grew up. I grew up in Las Vegas. I grew up in the ghetto of Las Vegas. Just in case anybody's curious, that's the environment that I grew up in. So
yeah, and I didn't, right? I grew up where everything looked perfect, but where I was carrying around this huge secret. So I came to work every day with kids who were doing things that other people assumed, right, were just bad behavior.
Yeah.
And I recognized in a lot of them
what's causing the bad behavior, right?
Right, that there's something behind that. Because my thing for adults too is if you had a better way of doing it, you would. And I look at kids, and when they're throwing furniture or crying hysterically or running around campus, it doesn't feel good to them. That doesn't feel good to be in that state, and just to be able to be with them again, show up. I'm not trying to fix it. I'm just going to be with you here. I'm going to label those feelings for you the best I can and let you know that I'm not, it's not going to make me go away. It's not going to make me run. I'm going to sit right here with you. And when you are calm enough, we can have the conversation, and we could, my God, I am just so beyond blessed. And so I was able to do that comfortably where other people weren't. And so looking back, this whole trajectory, it's so meant to be, so serendipitous, the path I've taken, including LinkedIn, to get to this point. And I didn't know I was making that decision, but it was an amazing decision to give back my knowledge beyond just speech language pathology.
So your client work, coaching work, who do you work with? Are you working with adults? Are you working with kids? How does that work?
I'm working with adults, or 20s, that kind of thing. I joke that as I get older, it's harder and harder to be the most interesting thing in the room, to be the clown at the birthday party that's going to keep your attention through an entire session. And so I started to move to a little older clientele. And I realized as I did that there's sort of this gap here that's forgotten about, because these little ones grow up to be humans, right? Full-grown adults. And they still struggle out in the world. And what do we know about connection and how important community is, right? It's essential to our mental wellness, and they're missing that. They're missing.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But my friend, Curtis Tompkins, put a post up today on Facebook and LinkedIn, and it rings so true to this. He says it's one of the most impactful things that we can do, and it's free, is encourage people with our words.
Right.
It's just simple, like, you can do it. You can make it. You are important. You are special. I believe in you. These things that people so desperately need to hear, and we withhold it for, I don't know, whatever reason we justify in our own minds. But I think it's important that there are people out there voicing that, like, I believe in you, Joe. You could do it, Joe. Or
right.
You, Nancy, or God forbid, you could do it, Ira. Be careful, because I can't always do it. But you can give me some hope.
You can do it. That's the thing, is we all can do it. We all really can. And so yes, in my coaching, it's about that interconnectedness. But one of the pieces that I would say I'm really good at is engagement. So it's really helping people, get engagement, not just in your interpersonal, whether it's with your business, your posts, your shows, it's finding that place of finding that way to communicate to others, so that engagement, that connection is happening. So
100%. Yeah. Okay. So before I move on to Brian,
who's Brian?
Yeah, this guy, Tony Stark. Let me ask you this. Okay. So there's people that are watching. They struggle with communication. It's a hard thing for them. Maybe they're introverted. Maybe they have suffered some form of abuse. Maybe they just don't have confidence in themselves. There's imposter syndrome. There's all kinds of things that hold people back. If you could give those people just a word of encouragement and a tip, some advice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, you can't solve the world's problems in one statement, but if you could
but we can make a lot of movement with one step.
Yeah.
Each of us taking one step, it's a lot of movement. And my thing, and I'm going to keep coming back to it, is show up.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard for us to show up as we are, because, the world likes a pretty picture, and we've all bought into that, right? We want to show up on our best days and do our posts and our pictures on our best days. But the reality is, and I will say from experience, I get the most engagement when I just show up wherever I'm at in that moment.
The vulnerable actually does so much better. Brian knows this to be true. Look, when we share our words, we actually get far more better response than when we try to make it look like we're perfect.
Right.
So I'm a Photoshop guy. I'm an illustrator guy. Trust me, I know how to make a pretty picture. But when I just take a picture of me in my shirt and I'm out of shape, but I'm actually out there trying to walk, like you're saying, I'm showing up, I'll get 100,000 views on that, and I'll get 1,500 views on something I thought was perfect. So
yeah, and that's the thing, is the beauty of that is the kind of thing that gets a ton of engagement, because we really are all looking for real. We're looking for those people who mirror us, who feel like we can relate to them because they've had similar experiences. You show up polished all the time, and people are like, well, she's not real. Right. Yeah. I'm not happy all the time. I can't relate to her. There's no connection there. And so for me, it's the show up, no matter how you are, right? Just show up and know, because this is what I've experienced too. And just what you were saying is, you get so much positive feedback for showing up as you are. And I think that's what people need. They're terrified, right? That they're going to show their true selves and be rejected, show their true selves and, crickets, or whatever it is that's every person's individual fear, right? But if I show up the way I am and I really show me to the world, how vulnerable is that, right? That's incredibly vulnerable.
100% agree.
And
Man,
so
we're gonna be fast friends here. Let's do this because I have this thing about hogging the show. I do that. I don't.
I was going to say that. Let Brian speak, Ira.
Oh no! Wait! Nancy has to tell you guys about a campaign she's launching because it's it's very pertinent to what she's talking about right now.
All right, let's do it. And then Joe, I'm going to have you interview Brian, so that.
Oh no! You want me to interview our DJ? So when was the first time you put on the Iron Man helmet?
Right.
Nancy, tell us about the campaign.
Okay, so Radiating Real campaign, #RadiatingReal. And what it's going to be, and so you guys can all get ready now, is that simply you take a picture of yourself when you wake up in the morning and you post it. You post your real self, and you can add some words about how terrifying it was, how good it feels.
This is easy for me. I look like this.
Right, exactly. I mean, I did one recently where I didn't take off my makeup before going to bed, and I was a raccoon, and I just woke up in the morning and quickly.
I saw that one. I remember that one. I saw that one.
And it's like, I know there are plenty of people out there that fall into bed with their makeup on and wake up looking just the way I did, right? That was just it.
I love that for girls, especially because of the makeup thing. And, you know, with guys, we don't look that much different, honestly.
Right.
The t-shirt, usually not a dress-up shirt. But, I mean, I don't have any hair to be messy. Like Brian, I'm sure could get some calyx going.
Oh, my God. Brian would probably... Brian, I'd imagine your hair...
They got a deadhead, right?
Ira and I got it easy. So
for me, there's not much.
I mean, I got a little bit, but not that much. So, but
I get honestly, you know what the biggest thing for me is straight eyebrows. Like I do have to do this.
But here's the thing: is I think we look at issues of self-confidence, especially in the physical level, as something that's uniquely female, unique to women. And it's not. Men have all the same insecurities that we do. They have all the same fears, all the same vulnerable places. And so, you know, even if it means you're unshaven or an eyebrow hair is out of place, the idea is just wake up, take that picture of yourself, share it, use the #RadiatingReal. Talk a little bit about why you did it or why it was scary or whatever it is, just to encourage others.
Nancy, I don't think I could do that because, one, I sleep in the buff. So I don't think everybody... Or is this just?
Oh, you just to be a full body picture.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Joe, you can send those pictures straight to me.
I'm only kidding, and no, I don't. I don't sleep like that. I just did it for the comedy effect.
You notice the Catwoman is getting attacked by her cat. I just think that's hilarious.
Oh, it's not a show if the cat doesn't show up and put its tail under my nose. It's just part of how things go around here. See, there we go. But yes, thank you, Brian. I'm happy to share about that, and it is important to me. I'm passionate about it. It's that showing up, being who you are, is the most important thing.
Tell me one more time. It's radiating
real.
Yes, #RadiatingReal, and it's that place. I wore. Hang on, listen. I have this mask on. Let's just do this.
Keep that comment up if I spelled it right. I
am going to check in just a second, but first, what I'm going to do is, if I can find my filter now, take off my filter, practice what I preach. Here we go. This is me, right? And the idea is, I wore a mask for many, many years. The person I presented to the world was so not the person I was inside. I looked perfect on the outside because I didn't want anyone to notice me because of what was going on with me. And when I took off the mask and finally completely did it just this past November by telling my story publicly, it's a huge shift. Yeah. And I want other people to experience that because it was transformative, truly transformative.
I could tell you that I have a similar experience with that, right? Like I kept that within myself. Nobody knew, right? And even my spouse, my parents, my siblings, like nobody knew. But when I let it go, when I shared it, there was just this weight that was gone. Yes. And all of a sudden, like life was so much better. So.
And what I found, what I've learned, and this is important for everyone, is it's far more draining and takes a whole lot more energy to wear that mask than to show up just as right?
To be real is so much easier.
Yes.
It's almost like you just have to come to grips with it yourself. We worry about what everybody's going to think about us. And honestly, I don't know about you with this, but for me personally, people like me better because now I was letting them in. They were seeing the real me, not the precocious, pretentious, I have somebody who they actually said, so what do you drive, Ira? A Mercedes or a BMW? And I'm like, I drive a Kia Optima, and it's 9 years old. Okay.
Right.
I'm not that guy. So
yeah. And that's the thing, right? Let it go, feel how good it feels to be you, and radiate real. And people do respond. When I was younger, and my best friend is here, Raquel Boris, there she is, can tell you, she wasn't the only person, but this mask I wore that made me very plastic and very fake in a way, made people think I was a bitch before they ever met me.
Yeah.
I was intimidated. I've been told I thought you were a bitch. You were intimidating because I was also this girl that's like, it's safer to be, yay, thank you, Mariella. Yay, do me a favor and tag me as well.
Did I spell that right? I just want to make sure.
Radiating real, yes. And
okay,
so when you're doing it, because I'm not going to say if, when you're doing it, please tag me. I don't want to miss a single one of these. Please.
I'm doing it. This is one that I feel like I could get behind because, like, seriously, the shirt changes. That's it. So I could do this one. This will be great. Some of them I'm afraid to do, but this one I got it. All right, Brian. We want to hear your story too, brother. But Joe is gonna.
Okay, so we're really gonna have me do it.
Hey, I'm okay just sitting here smiling and we focus on Nancy because I'm good either way. I'm just happy.
I think it's only fair because you guys make me talk about me on your show.
Yeah.
And you guys give me such a great plug every time I go on.
Joe, the finance guy. I'm gonna grill Joe in a minute, but let's.
Yeah,
my
story.
I don't know if anybody watching hasn't heard it, but I'm sure there's somebody who hasn't. But I think it's fascinating. So
right. So, Brian, tell me about how you started.
How I started.
Yeah.
I started at 3 months premature and 1.5 pounds that wasn't supposed to live. That's how I started.
That is
and then I started with a neurological disorder after that, which made me weird and different with Tourette's syndrome, which are uncontrollable tics and twitches. And I was the weird kid and the small kid. And I dealt with a lot of adversity growing up.
Where did you grow up, Brian?
I grew up in LA. Okay,
so you're LA. God, I love it. The West Coast. The best coast.
Ira,
there it is.
Ira, who's doing this interview?
You are.
I'm going to mute you, Ira.
You're going to have to mute me also because I have a tendency to, I'm a speech-language pathologist. We talk.
It's a joke with Ira. No, it's just a joke because Alicia's probably behind him going, yeah, see? Yep. No, but anyway, seriously. All right. So I know you and Ira have known each other for quite some time.
Yeah.
And I've heard your story about like how you've come up. How did you overcome Tourette's and all that? What did you do?
Yeah, so let's see. Short version is when I was a early teen, I wound up taking some medication for a couple of years that helped because Tourette's not controllable. There's no cure. And I wound up taking some medicine that was kind of supposed to be a calming mechanism. The reality is the side effects were horrible. And after a couple of years, I basically just said, it was actually right before I grew up Jewish by faith and I got bar mitzvahed. And right before that, I said to my mom, I don't want to take these drugs anymore. And nothing like any amazing mother, supportive, and also asked, are you sure? There's a lot of people that are going to be here for you. And she wants to make sure I'm okay. Because it was stressful enough, right? I had a hard time retaining information and Tourette's come out with stress. And so, see the cattail? There's Nick, Nancy, and so it's going to happen again. Watch to drive by catting. So I said, and she had to remind me of this, but apparently what I said was, they're all here for me. They know who I am, and I'm okay with it. And I never took any medication again after that. Now, I did find 3 natural calming mechanisms. One was music. I've been a musician my whole life. 2 is Dancing. My mom always told me, I'm going to teach you how to dance and you're going to love me for it because all the girls are going to love you. And she was right, because boys don't like to dance. And the other was comedy. Yes, they are. The other was comedy. And it's funny because like each one of those in their own way was so helpful. And psychologically, because I did get a degree in psychology because I wanted to better understand people, because I didn't after the way I was treated. And I wanted to better understand myself. It's not obvious, Brian. You're not even saying a lot of silly stuff.
that you have it because you're not.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. See, so just so you guys understand, like in the height of my Tourette's, as a kid, I was somersaulting from room to room, jumping up and down. I had these intense neck twitches, wrist flicking, a lot of facial expressions, a lot of auditory noises, and a lot of times they would commingle. And I remember uncontrollable, and you don't know you're doing them. So when I come home crying to my mom as a kid saying, why does nobody like me? Why does everybody keep making fun of me? It's because I literally don't understand why, because I don't know that I'm doing what's happening. So those three mechanisms, if you will, natural calming mechanisms, music, and Ira, you can relate. Like when I would play, I'd sit in the dark for hours playing piano. It was like I was in another body because I was so focused on what I was doing that I wasn't. Again, there's a little bit of awareness, but not only because of the pain in some cases, but otherwise not, right? So it was like I was in a normal body, right? Dancing, interestingly enough, psychologically, when I look back at it, right? Think about it. We're all on a dance floor. We're getting our groove on, waving our bodies, making facial expressions, loud noises. We're doing things we wouldn't be doing walking down the street unless you were me and not knowing it. And yet maybe I felt normal in a sea of people that didn't in that dance floor, right? And the other one was comedy. I grew up, look, I figured if I'm going to get made fun of, I wanted to at least try and be it on my own terms. And so for me, it was, I watched a lot of comedians growing up, and they were all physical comedians. Again, psychologically, I didn't realize this until later. I grew up watching the Three Stooges, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Sam Kinison, the young Jim Carrey, Robin Williams. I mean, the list goes on. And they were all physical comedians in some form or fashion. And again, that was me just normally, right? So anyway, I got good growing up, got good doing impressions of people. And it was, it just kind of stuck with me. It wasn't something I really talked about. It was more just in settings, but I will say, it's interesting because, like I said, I mean, I never took any medication again. And again, it wasn't something I was talking about. It was really more of a one-off scenario if I thought it might help somebody somehow. But, high school, I kind of grew out of my shell, and that's right. Incredible things do happen when we come together. We'll talk about LinkedIn in a second too, and how that changed my life forever. So many times over the last 17 and a half years, believe it or not. So I broke out of my shell in high school and started, my parents fostered this. They fostered the like bringing together of, like, my house became that place where people kind of congregated, and they pushed, fostered, helped that. Right. And so that was a good thing. And at that point I was slowly coming into my own, and kind of finding myself. That was the first time that I actually saw someone else who had Tourette's, because I remember passing a classmate at school and realized they had Tourette's because I saw it. It's like when you're looking for something red, you see red everywhere, right?
Right.
You're buying a new car, you see that car everywhere. They were always there. You just weren't paying attention to them. Your senses weren't aware and heightened to what was happening. And so I was more aware, and I knew he had no idea what was going on. And so long story short, we wound up helping him get to UCLA, where I got diagnosed. And, that was a gift. I was given a gift to be able to recognize that, to be able to help somebody else. And so fast forward, high school, college, college, I really broke out of my shell and got involved in lots of organizations, was a founder of my fraternity, which is where I found my love for building startups for the last 20 plus years. And I found LinkedIn along the way. Again, 17 and a half plus years ago now. There were about 1 million people on the platform when I joined, and it was just a year old. And I don't know, there was just something about it, because it was just a digital resume and a place to look for a job then. There was no engagement, no communication, there was nothing. You had a resume, you could search, you could hit a connect button. That was it. Like, and so I've been through all of the transitions, if you will, that have happened over the years, and 3 major ones. And I'll talk about LinkedIn here now, because this is a really important thing. I love the stories that people share about their journeys on LinkedIn. Like Nancy being on LinkedIn for the last 16 months and showing the progression and the incredible tribe that has shown up and all of those things and finding her voice. Like, it's really impactful, right? And so for me, like 3 major moments, and then there have been so many, but 3 major moments that literally turned LinkedIn on its head. Now, the first was the ability to publish articles, which is called LinkedIn Pulse. And like the major rollouts on LinkedIn, you had to be invited to be a part of these betas.
Right.
And so, you had all the moguls, like, I mean, I'm talking like the Bransons and the Bill Gates of the world, like your big business moguls, right, that were all a part of this. And they gave it a really long runway. Usually it was like a year. So you'd see these articles or whatever, and you're like, how are they doing this? Because nobody knows you could do it. They're just popping up. And I wound up getting invited to publish articles. And I'm like, this is a joke, right? I'm just some guy working at a company. Who's going to care what I have to say? And I sat on it for months. And then it was July, and I'm like, I got it. I'm going to tell the story because everybody loves a good story. I didn't want to write it about business. There were so many other ways to find out about that kind of stuff. I looked at articles. Again, this is way before video and everything, right? I looked at articles as a way so that when you came to what we would call then your profile, right? Now your channel, you go to your profile, it would help you get to know me a little better. If you didn't ever meet me, you knew nothing about me, that those articles would help you get to know who I was as a human being. Because at the end of the day, before the job, the role, the title of the company, we're all humans with a heartbeat. And that's who we do business with, right? That's who we build relationships with. So I wrote the story about the wedding in Hawaii that my wife never knew was going to happen. And wrote a couple other. I haven't written many with purpose, because each of them have their own purpose and help you get to know me in many different ways. My superpower being a daddy, and my life story, preemie and miracle baby and all that stuff, and the Tourette's, and my LinkedIn video journey. And so LinkedIn video launched in 2018. Is that right? 17. It's all a blur. I was part of the original launch. It just literally showed up on my phone. And I'm like, you're out of your mind. There's no way I'm getting on camera, because all I thought was, what if my Tourette's come out? Because nobody in the business world knew about any of that stuff. And that was honestly with purpose too. And it wasn't even just the business world. I mean, unless you were really, really close to me, you didn't know about that stuff, because it wasn't something I was going, yeah, hey, listen to my story. I didn't think about that. I thought, no, I just want to blend in and be normal. I don't need to stand out. I certainly don't want to stand out for those reasons. And I just want to earn everything on my own merit, so to speak, right? And so I waited 5 months to muster up the bravery and courage to take the leap. And again, I was part of the alpha when it launched. Goldie and I got it at the same time. And I was supporting the small group of creators at the time that launched. And of course, as you know, when you support, it comes back. And so it would come back because the way LinkedIn Video launched was through hashtag campaigns. And right when LinkedIn Video launched, the Let's Get Honest campaign launched. And you had people like Swish and Moni Goswami and Michaela Alexis, Alex in London, and many others that were a part of this. And the whole point of this campaign was, tell us something about you that nobody knows. Very personal. LinkedIn Video flipped LinkedIn on its head forever for the good. It changed the platform forever. And again, I say that because I had been there from pretty much the beginning. And it was the first time it was human with a heartbeat. You weren't showing up in your proverbial suit and your suit speak and doing that. You were you. And these stories that they were sharing were just, oh my gosh, it was like speech impediment, agoraphobia, rape. I mean, really personal stories, right, guys? But they hit your heart. They hit your heart, and they were so inspiring. And by the way, it was a much younger generation showing up at that time that I had never seen before on the platform. And I say that just because I could be dad to some of these amazing.
I'm with you. I understand.
Well, you could be my dad. You could be my granddad, actually. But...
Oh, knock that off, Brian.
So anyway, so the campaign was really cool, right? And that was what actually inspired me for the very first time to want to share my story. Because remember, up until that point, I still looked at myself as weird and different and not in a good way. So 5 months pass by. I get called out for a hashtag campaign called 5 Videos that my friends, Mike Morgan, Dr. Mike Morgan, and Goldie and Fahad Muhammad had launched. And the whole purpose was this. You never made a video before ever. I want you to make 5 videos, 1 in a row, 5 days.
I remember that, by the way. That was a big deal when that was happening.
It was.
Ira?
I think I did do it. I mean, I tried to be social as I could at that time. So yeah, I believe I did. I don't know how I would find it because I've made.
Well, search the hashtag 5, the number 5 videos. And there were a lot of people that were jumping in, right? And so anyway, Goldie called me out and was like, hey, come jump in this campaign. And I'm like, yeah, well, the icon disappeared, it reappeared, disappeared, reappeared. Every time I did an iOS update, it was that. And it was like a double angel on my shoulder. It's like, yo, no, don't, you got to do it. And the other one was like, no, it's back. I can't do it. And so it was this whole battle internally with myself because I had never been on camera. I was always my monkeys on the other side. It was never me. And so it was the first time. And you talk about not knowing anything. You guys, I mean, yeah, I've made over, probably 1,400 videos in the time since I got started. But I had no idea what I was doing emotionally, psychologically, every which way possible. I didn't even know there were apps that existed for videos. That's how green I was, right?
The other thing you haven't talked about back then, talking about 2017, 2018, even into 2019, the platform had a whole different vibe, to borrow your word, as far as who you interacted with and who you connected with. It was supposed to be, for some stupid reason, an antisocial platform where if I didn't know you in real life, I didn't work with you in real life, then I wasn't supposed to connect with you. And so you had this hang up for the old guard to the new guard. And that was right in that's what kind of helped transition into this. Now we're going to take it to be more social. And that's where Project Help You Grow, actually, the genesis of Project Help You Grow in 2018 was supposed to be the reason it got its name was, it was a growth incubator. Here's a safe space on LinkedIn where you can come and connect with people that you never have met before and not get in trouble, not get hit. I don't know this person, because that would get you kicked off the platform at least. Yeah,
you get an IDK, you get too many ID because it happened to me.
Yeah.
So an IDK means I don't know. So when you go to connect with someone, if the person on the other side has the invite, you can decline it, accept it. And when you decline it, it says, it gives you options. Do you want to say, I don't know this person? What most people don't know is if you click the I don't know this person a few times, you now have to type in your email address, the email address of the person that you want to connect with going forward. Right. And LinkedIn will let you get out of jail. And you have to agree to all these terms and say, okay. And that's it. Now, that happened to me because, again, for the same reasons Iris shared, I was connecting with all sorts of different people all over the world, and yet that was happening, but people didn't know that was what would happen. So anyway, the 5 videos, right? And my very first video was me telling my life story about being a miracle baby preemie and Tourette's and all that stuff, and I was getting ready to go on a business trip for 4 days. And I'm flipping out. I told Goldie, I'm like, look, I don't have access anymore. She reached out to them and said, hey, and sent me a note back with a little screenshot from them and said he'll be let back up either tonight or tomorrow. And her note with it was no excuses. And I'm like, all right, I don't want to let my friend Goldie down. I don't want to let myself down. I got to do this. And the way I looked at it in my head was, it's like every other startup I've helped build and grow. No idea where it's going to go, but I don't want to look at this and go, what if? I'd rather fall down, face forward, and have that experience and learn and grow than look back and go, oh gosh, I wish I did that, right? So I did it. I was terrified, sitting in my office upstairs with the wall plastered with my pictures from my kids, plopped my phone on my desk. I reached out to my dear friend Amy Blasco, who had been making some videos, and I said, Amy, I have no idea how to do this, literally no idea. How are you making your videos? She's like, well, I have this app called Clips. You've got an iPhone, I know. So just here's a quick video tutorial. Go download the app. It's free, and you're good to go. So I download the app. I watch the quick tutorial. I plop my phone on my desk. Everyone will tell you your first video is the worst. It's the worst because you feel that way, right? But it's actually not. It's the best. It's the best because it is your first. And you get to see how far you grow over time.
Yep.
So I made that video, guys. And again, the first time, and at that point in front of 500 million people sharing my life story, terrified about what my employer was going to say and people I do business with, like all of that, right? I mean, nobody knew. And yet I was so inspired by this campaign that I wanted to share it. And so, thank you, Tim. And so I did it. And I didn't look at anything. And I'm like, oh, God, it's horrible. Had my bags packed, getting ready to go. And I wound up going into the comments. And all of the love and support and encouragement that I got, it literally changed my life forever. Because it was the first time in my life I didn't look at myself as being weird and different in a bad way. And what I did realize was by sharing my story, because it felt so weird. Hey, Peter, it felt so weird to share it. Because in my mind, I'm sitting here going, who the heck is going to care about my story? I don't want to talk about myself. But I realized, which is really important, and I always tell people is, don't come to LinkedIn with a purpose just to do business. If that's your purpose, you're not going to succeed.
Right.
You're not. Love. What you need to do is you need to know what your why is. Your why has to be greater than that. My why was to inspire one person a day. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I wanted to show up and figure it out. And, you know, figured I'd figure it out, right? And once you were able to start posting, I was sharing that way, and then video, and right. So anyway, I made the first video, second video from my car the next morning. I did like 8 or 9 different takes, almost missed my flight. I did the third and fourth video from my hotel room at like 1:30 in the morning, changed my clothes so you didn't know I did it in the same night, posted them on the respective days, got home, made my 5th video, reached out to Goldie and Fahad and Mike and said, this is so uncomfortable. When does this get comfortable? Because this is horrible. And Goldie's like, you will start to feel a little bit less uncomfortable around your 20th video. And I'm sitting here like, are you kidding me? I got to make 20 videos to feel a little bit less uncomfortable? But I had a number in my head. So I remember the 20th video, and I was behind the scenes at one of my sons when he was still in jazz band playing in a parade or something. And I was doing, there's like, you know, horses and, you know, it's a parade, all sorts of things you'd see in a parade, right? And I remember saying, okay, the 20th video, I feel a little bit less uncomfortable. And it was, like I said, I mean, it literally, yes, love. It literally changed my life, guys.
You think that's the psychology behind that is because she said 20. If she had said 25, it would have taken a little longer.
I don't know. I mean, I was grateful for all the hashtag campaigns because that kept me going. Like I didn't have to think about what was I going to do a video about. I had to think about that a little, but at least it was a framework. Yeah. But I tell you guys, you know, I mean, you know, you hear all of the accolade, Godfather of LinkedIn video and one of the world's top live streaming and video marketing experts and a 2020 top 50 most impactful people of LinkedIn and a global leader of the year. And, you know, my live shows being in Forbes and Thrive Global and Yahoo Finance and a best-selling book on Amazon and a smart TV network and winning a best festive live show of the year award. I mean, like this stuff, I'm sitting here going, who are you talking? This sounds like somebody really cool. That's not me. Like I'm just some dude who got on camera. But like, this is the thing, guys. I could count on probably 2 sets of hands out of probably, you know, again, 1,300 videos that I've ever talked about business on LinkedIn. It wasn't about that for me. It was just about showing up. And guys, we all do this too, by the way. We all get on camera and we're like, okay, so who am I supposed to be here? Like, I got to be this person or that person or do this or that. Like, seriously, I mean, we all have gone through that at some point in the journey. And it like a light bulb went off. And I'm like, no, I just need to be me. And if I'm just me, then my tribe will show up, right? I always say your vibe attracts your tribe, right? And I found a voice inside of me through video that I never knew I had. And so I always tell people, you know, Voice Your Vibe, yes, that's my company, but Voice Your Vibe is such a deeper root. Like Voice Your Vibe is literally like my life story, guys. I had no voice coming into the world. I found a voice I never knew I had. I found a tribe I never knew I had. And I want everyone to know that you have a voice and you have a story and that you matter and that your voice and story can positively affect, impact, and inspire another human being's life by showing up and being you. You know, and again, it's all surreal, right? I mean, I'm sitting here having fun with friends on video, and here's the chairman of Forbes, Miguel Forbes, saying, you're one of the people that makes LinkedIn what it is. And I'm like, how is that possible? It's a business social networking platform. I'm not giving any value. I'm not talking about anything of of that you're going to apply to your business. Again, in my mind, that's what I'm saying.
Let me speak to that, man. Let me speak to that, because this is something I've been wanting to talk to you about on video for a while. The problem with LinkedIn up to 2017 was it was antisocial. And I still think that they need to fix some of the antisocial policies that are in place. Like you, I've been a part of this platform for a very long time. I'm going almost 2 decades now on, that I've been using it. It was antisocial. What did the changes of the last 4 years, really, what has happened is a metamorphosis into this social platform. But if you go back in time to 2017, and the posts that you're going to see are something about somebody's looking for somebody to work at this position, and press releases, which I actually do for a living. I write press releases. Okay. So I get it. So it was either PR in public relations press release from a company's marketing department or their PR team, or it was a recruiter writing about a job listing. Nothing personal. And it was a sterile, stale, boring, you weren't here for social anything. And now what it's become is the complete opposite. Yeah, there are still people who don't get how LinkedIn works now, and they're doing press release PR posts because they think that's what they're supposed to do. Or there's people out there looking for a job. But most of us who use it on a daily basis, we're friends. And we've created this place where you can come and talk about everything, but because people do business with people.
Right.
That's it.
Right? People buy from people.
So I will tell you, as a professional,
I got on LinkedIn without any business. I had no.
Yeah. You don't need to even be in business to be and have fun on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has become a better Facebook, because here you don't have the politics.
It's more.
You don't have the politics and the stupid fighting. Like Facebook has become.
You don't have the drama.
Yeah, it's drama free.
I want to say it nicely, I guess, but you don't have the drama as much as you would on Facebook. I believe with LinkedIn, and I'll speak for myself. And Brian, I don't want to interrupt you.
But here's why.
I do, Brian, because I have something to say, so I will interrupt.
When people want to let's look at why. I don't think enough people understand the why. Okay, what made it flip from 2017 upwards was what Brian's just been talking about. You had people. Articles, then people started to open up and not write just business boring crap about speeds and feeds and products.
Yeah, I mean,
about people, and then video, the 5 videos and all the other videos. I mean, there was lots of them.
Oh, there were tons of them. The first year, it was like filled with hashtag campaigns, and it was awesome because, I mean, here's the thing, right? Like Nancy said, you just got to show up, right? And people were showing up, and again, it was a whole new generation that was showing up and sharing. People were getting on video and singing and dancing. I mean, I always say, what we did, and I remember
Dancing Diana, right? I mean,
yes, of course. Like, we were doing things like, guys, you have to just understand, like, basically there was this huge mountain in front of us, right? And we had to go carve through this mountain, right?
All the naysayers who said, this isn't Facebook. Here. I mean, I'm telling you, like, there was a fight between the old school and what you see now. And the old school lost because they hated every second of what Ira was doing and what Brian was doing and so many others. Like, there wasn't just one person making this battle, but we were battling the reputation and perception that LinkedIn is this. And we said, no, LinkedIn could be better. And here's what it could be. And by Brian sharing his story and Ira sharing my story and all the people who shared their stories and letting you see the behind the scenes, the real, which is why I like Radiating Real so much. Let's just bring it back to the now, right? Radiating Real, that's what it really was. You could call it whatever you wanted. I called it Project Help You Grow because that was my thing. Everybody had their thing. But the bottom line is it was about relationships, no longer about the business. It was about the person behind the business.
That's
and that made
what I love, sorry, Ira, is that unlike Facebook, where people from my past are looking for me, right? Or Instagram, same sort of thing, is anyone I meet in LinkedIn at any given moment is meeting the most real version of me in that moment. Like you're meeting me in that moment. There's no history. We just pick up where we are. And I get the most engagement on LinkedIn because this is where people are willing to be real. Yep. On Facebook, it's such a cultivated, we talk about this whole, we've got this cultivated culture of being absolutely not real. And everyone seems afraid to break through over there. But on LinkedIn, people are really welcoming the human side of this. Like, Brian says, human and heart first is really what LinkedIn has become about. I was the person who didn't join because I had a job, like I said, but I love that LinkedIn, and one of the silver linings of COVID, more people looking for connection. And what you guys started really just solidified, because so many people on LinkedIn, such a large percentage of the people using LinkedIn were here for that. And that was just, again, it's no longer a business platform. What you guys had started, there's no going back.
Well, I think it's still a business platform. I just think it's about the most important part of the business, which is the people that form. You know what I mean? Like it's personal, but it is business related. Like I don't think we need to get away from that part of it. Like, it's either your hobby or your passion or your education, but it's really about connecting people.
Right. Yes. And the business comes after. Right.
Yeah, it is a professional platform. Like I still don't expect to see the same things on LinkedIn that I do on TikTok. Right. You know what I mean? But what makes it great is that personal story now. I'm sharing the story, and we haven't even gotten into this, but I think all of us would agree. What makes it great is you can pay it forward. I talk about these things on projecthelpyougrow.com all the time called informational interviews. And what is that? That's when you take the time, like you want to be fill in the blanks, a musician, a psychologist, a professional salesman, a website, a graphic designer, whatever it is that you want to do. You find people that are already doing it. And you basically ask them questions about how they got into it and advice that they would give you on how to get going. And that's an informational interview. That happens every day on LinkedIn.
There's so much generosity of wisdom.
Yeah.
There's this huge, people are so generous with their wisdom.
Yeah, that's the community part of it.
Yeah.
That wasn't there before.
No, but it's something we fostered. It's something that we fostered, and we had to keep fostering, right? Because to Ira's point, like there was pushback in so many different ways from so many different places, and we would just keep pushing through that together, right? By the way, this hashtag right here, LinkedIn Fam, was a hashtag that myself and Sunny Tanan created way back when. We can't figure out who it was. It was one of us, but I mean, we basically were like, here's the thing, right? Like, this is real. Like, we are a family. Like, you feel that, and it's family doesn't just mean blood. Like I would jump in front of train tracks for any one of you, and that's incredible. And I've always said, that we're gonna look back years from now. I remember talking to a fellow creator early on LinkedIn, and like, what are we doing? And I said, well, you're asking the wrong question.
Yeah.
I said, we're doing it. You don't need to know what you're doing and why you're doing. You just need, you're showing up, and we're going to look back years from now and go, look at what we did together. We're bringing people together. We are paving the way for people to walk, to stand up, to feel they can, to have a voice. It's a legacy. I mean, anybody.
For anybody, historians, right? They're going to tell the story. There's going to be stories written about you. There's going to be stories written about your business. There's going to be stories written about LinkedIn. I mean, there's stories about just about anything you can think of. But it will be impossible to tell the story of LinkedIn without talking about 2017 to 2019. You can categorize it a couple, depending on how big or how micro the story you want to dig in. But you will never be able to tell the full story of LinkedIn without talking about that era. And why? Because that era, the whole voice, I love voice your vibe. I mean, there's so many ways you could go with it. The whole voice of LinkedIn changed forever in that time span. And you cannot, those 700 people, however many it was, 750, I think of us, that kicked off LinkedIn Live, you cannot, it is a paradigm shift.
Yeah. So let's talk about that for a second. So LinkedIn Live was the next big moment, right? And I'd say LinkedIn Stories after that. But LinkedIn Live, right? So as many of you guys know, LinkedIn Live kicked off in 2019. It was actually February of 2019 when it launched.
Yep.
I got access May 13th, which was my birthday. And actually my very first live was on Memorial Day.
There you go.
And in fact, I'm going to be doing a live show on Monday. I'm just not sure what time, and I'm going to be bringing back some memories from those moments. A lot of firsts that took place, which is really fun. But LinkedIn Live, again took, and I think that's the cool thing about platforms, right? Is we don't sit here and look at LinkedIn and go, LinkedIn Live, oh yeah, it's okay, Facebook has had it so long, you're behind the 8 ball. No, if you're on LinkedIn, you're going, oh my gosh, this shiny new penny, this is amazing, right? However it is, oh, we can't just hit live, we got to go through another platform. Oh, this, oh that, okay, cool, we'll work through all of it, right? Thank you, buddy.
We'll figure it out. Can I tell you that I got LinkedIn Live? I didn't know how to use it for a week. I'm sitting there going, when is it going to say go live?
Yeah,
like
I didn't
sitting there on the left saying you have access to go live. And I'm like, how?
You're like, how do I do that? Right. And then I finally looked it up too. And I'm like, okay, great. Wait, I've got to use a third-party platform that I have. Yep. So I have to learn a third-party platform, and then I have to learn how it's going to happen here. So there's so much learning, right? So much learning. And then the whole, learn how to go stay live for however long you're going to be live for.
And nobody had it. So it's not like you could reach out to your friends and go, how do you do this thing? Like Joe told me when he got it, he's like, all right, walk me through this. How do I get started? And I could. But back then, nobody had it.
No, not at all. Not at all. So it was a Memorial Monday. And as many of you know, when I started my LinkedIn Lives over 300 and some odd episodes ago, I did all my lives behind the scenes. When we were not in COVID and all that, I would love taking everyone with me behind the scenes. That was my jam because I wanted you to feel like you were sitting right next to me wherever I was, and just at cool events and stuff like that, right? So I'm like, okay, hold on, this parade is happening. This will be the first ever LinkedIn. I mean, everything was the first ever at that point. The first ever LinkedIn Live parade, which, by the way, like, I didn't apply. It just showed up in my inbox. Congratulations, you have LinkedIn Live, and I'm like, okay, great. So how do I do this thing? And so I found out, Ira, like you said, which was got to use another platform. And at that time, none of the platforms had because you had to pay for these third-party platforms.
Yeah, they're not free. Yeah.
But there was one that had a 15-day trial, and that was Switcher Studio. Shout out to Switcher Studio. And so I downloaded. I'm like, okay, I wonder if I could figure this out. Like I'm like charging my battery packs, taking both my phones because I was doing it mobilely, and Switcher's known for being amazing at mobile streaming. And so yes, there you go, Nancy Deborah. Yes, just I was like, okay, maybe I can figure this out. And so I downloaded it. And I'd give the trials, email, whatever, and the things. And I'm like, okay. And I'm looking in it. I'm like, okay, this seems pretty cool, pretty easy. I wasn't thinking about, well, I was in back of my mind going, I don't have any branding, this, that, whatever. I'm like, screw it. I just want to go live. And so I did. And I was behind the scenes at, and I'm trying to actually pull something up real quick here.
Oh man, I don't know how he got off.
He knows how to come back. He knows.
All right. He'll be all right.
Well,
but yeah. So for me, I use StreamYard, which is what Joe's using now too, and I like StreamYard because I actually do most of what I do from my desktop. And the one that I picked first, what they did is they sent us a list. You could use these. I think it was 6 different companies at the time. It was like, here, use one of these 6, third-party apps. I didn't know any of them from Adam. It was just like random to me pick. And so the one I picked was better for mobile, but I wanted something that was easier for me to use with desktop, which I like StreamYard. But anyways, Brian, go ahead and continue, brother.
Sorry. Yeah, I clicked my back button by accident. So anyways, so this is a screenshot of the first live I did. There were like almost 10,000 people that were watching it, I guess, or something at the time, because they were feeding a lot of traffic to all of the lives, right? Because brand new, which is what they do with a new product that they launch because they want people to use it. And yeah, so there's my son actually right behind me right there. Yes, and love StreamYard. I mean, StreamYard, which I'll talk about in a second. Shout out to StreamYard.
I love StreamYard. I've been using it for 2 years. Love it.
Yeah, huge fans. I'm waiting for Puddles the Duck to arrive so I can put him up here too. I'm a huge fan of StreamYard, and my producer Tim uses StreamYard, and we love them. They power What's Good Wednesday Live, Shout Out Saturday Live, and all of the other shows that we do, holiday shows, Red Nose Day Live, which we did that was yesterday, wasn't it, Nancy? Yeah, last night.
Last night.
That was last night. International Dance Day, like all these things, right? And again, all about community, all about bringing people together, which you guys know. I mean, that's what I'm about. That's what you're about, Ira, and that's the cool thing is those people that get it. That's what Nancy's about. Joe's about, like, I mean, to half the people in the comments too. It's like, that's if you get that, if you understand that it's all about the people, it's all about the people and bringing people together.
There's 2 groups on LinkedIn. There really is just 2 groups. You fall in one or the other. You get it or you don't. The power of community. There's the selfish people who are here just for themselves and they spam you and they don't understand why they get no traction. Yeah. And then there's people who are givers. They understand you give to get, and you're here to be a part of something bigger than you. So you're either in or you're out. I mean, it's really that simple.
I will take your give to get. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Ira. I will take your give to get in a different way and say give to give, and give expecting nothing thereof, and help people to help people with no expectations, knowing that just be a good human being. Right. Yeah. Because here's the reality. Yes, it always boomerangs back to you for the good, but that's not why you do it. You do it to be a good human being. And there are so many good human beings on this platform, and huge shout out to everyone that is out there and again, paving the way in the different ways that you are, because it's not easy. I mean, most people are sitting here going, I don't want to talk about my personal life on camera, on LinkedIn, or whatever it may be.
I'll show you how that works. Here you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. I mean, but and that's what people would think. It's like, oh, that's how I'm supposed to show up. Right. Is this way, or, because that's what they would think. It's a business social networking platform. So I'll talk about my colleagues and, whatever. Just be you and show up, have fun together. I'm so grateful for digital technology like this, especially in the last year and a half plus during a pandemic that has, again, silver lining. Most people were just looking at this stuff going, I can go see Joe. I can go see Ira. I can go hang out with Nancy somewhere, whatever. But we couldn't do that.
No. And this was so much, this brought everybody together. So many, it was taking and I use this a lot because of Damon. It's taking the online offline. I got to know so many great people. And when you're talking about your own tribe and, and Brian, when I talked to you, and I think we were connected at one time before, maybe we weren't, I don't know. I can't even remember, or maybe it was your brother. Do you have a brother?
No.
Or somebody that knew, I swear it was the last name Schulman. Anyways, I don't remember. But
it might have been my cousin, because Josh Schulman is on the platform, and
Josh Schulman. That's what it was. It was him.
Classic.
And I talked to him offline at one point in time. But you get to meet so many interesting people, and you talk to them, and when you start meeting them and talking to them offline, and just like yesterday when you got the video of what I'm doing for Memorial Day, right, Brian? Because I think I sent it to you as well.
Yeah, I was in the group. Yes. Yes.
And so it was funny. Do you know how many people, like Nancy sent me that Joe, this is what you need to do. People are sending me private. That wasn't, I just want to tell people, I want to do this. I'm sorry I sound like crap right now because they nixed my voice box. But hey, next thing you know, I'm getting people just telling me, Joe, take care of yourself, do this, do that, on there. That meant a lot.
Yeah.
And that happens all the time because.
And then there's people like me who just teased them.
Yeah. They did what to you? So
I just pounded on my desk.
Yeah, see, that's somebody. It was Alicia punishing you. But you become a really. It's family.
That's it. It's family. And it wouldn't have happened without Reid Hoffman paving the way for creating this amazing platform that we all call home. It wouldn't be without Jeff Weiner for taking the lead and follow, for making it such a special place for us together. Ryan Waslansky taking over at, after 12 years, and taking the torch from Jeff and Saba and Peter and all of the people on LinkedIn Video, LinkedIn Live, for, again, truly shifting the way things were done, and again, nothing happens alone. We rise together, we grow together, and we fall together and lift each other up and keep going. And, that's what we've done. And I think it's amazing. Again, it really is incredible. And, I would just say to anybody out there, if everyone has access to LinkedIn Video, by the way, so you can get on video and just start showing up. LinkedIn Live you have to apply for. But I mean, it's be a part of this thing, again, even if you're just starting now, like you're so early in the game in the scheme of things.
Well, and advice for those of you out there who want LinkedIn Live, who haven't got in. First of all, I can help you with that, Nancy.
Thank you.
So I've helped several of my clients get LinkedIn Live, but one of the things that any of you could do, if you have a friend who is already live, co-host a show with them.
I'm actually surprised that you don't have it.
You're gonna use that when you apply, because they're gonna ask you to send some examples of you hosting live video. So there you go, and you can do it on the platform. But host something on YouTube, host something on Facebook, host something on Instagram if you can. So
she already does that, Ira, with Brian.
Look, I can
get not on that. I do it with Brian. I do it with
approved. The problem with her is the application. Right. No. So let me talk about the application process for a second, because a lot of you missed.
Are we going to get in trouble because it's a LinkedIn tip?
No. Because this is a sales. It's a sales tip.
Okay.
When you want to sell something, you got to make a case for it, right? LinkedIn is a business. They want to do what? They want to get people to come to their platform, to stay on their platform, and to sell advertising. That's what they really want to do, right? So give them a show idea that makes sense, something that isn't already being done. Cup of Joe is Seinfeld, in case anybody hasn't figured it out. Like, if I was going to sell this show to LinkedIn, it's like, yeah, we're going to talk about nothing, but we're going to be entertaining as hell. And we're going to make people laugh, right? So, but you got to make sure that pitch is well thought out. That's the part that I can help you with, is craft your pitch. Perfect. But you've got experience. You've got the experience already, because you're live all the time.
Right.
So they want to know that you can carry the show. They want to know that you're not going to come on and curse and do all those things, but so they're going to see you do it. But when you're doing your pitch has to be on point. Like, you really do need to think that part, the marketing part of that, and I can help you write it.
So let me before, because I know we're into like 7:13.
We're in overtime, yeah.
But that's still good, because
you know what? We have 4 hours. We have tested this over and over and over.
We are all in California, so it's only 4:13 here.
Joe's in the bat cave, though. It's dark all the time, so it doesn't matter.
It's dark all the time over here.
Joe's
Brian and Nancy, I want you guys to plug your show for tomorrow. Like, plug your show. What show? Like, I love Shout Out Saturday.
I'm gonna come hang out in the comments tomorrow. And
yeah, man, you absolutely should. Look, Shout Out Saturday Live. Shout Out Saturday actually just celebrated 3-year anniversary. Mark Lee in the house. Shout Out Saturday. Yeah, we just celebrated the 3-year anniversary. And by the way, the premise behind Shout Out Saturday is it was all about just me having conversations, because I'm video chats with people every day, and I'm like, these people are awesome. I want to give them some love. I want to give them a shout out. And it happened to be a Saturday, and called it Shout Out Saturday. And people, I would show up and give shout outs to people and sharing the love and gratitude for those people that, made a positive impact in my life the last week. And the cool part is people would show up and do the same. Right. And it's morphed over time, especially in the last year and a half through the pandemic. Yeah, we're episode 161. So it's 161 weeks of both shows, respectively. What's Good Wednesday Live and Shout Out Saturday both started them at the same time, so they're both 3 years old now.
And if you want to talk about the power of showing up,
yes,
Brian, how did I get to be part of your show?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's a great question. I was actually going to ask that.
Persistence and showing up and not going away. So it started by, being in the comments and saying hi to everyone, and then coming on as a guest and doing my dancing, whatever, regularly. but engaging with the community and at some point just reaching out to Brian and saying, hey, is there anything I can do to support you? Brian was very generously and continues to very generously share his wisdom with me. And there was sort of like, in what way can I pay you back? Like, how can I pay this forward to you? And it became, keep doing what you're doing, like engagement, do that whole thing. And that's really where it started. And it started with Brian, me in the background, and Brian randomly putting me on screen without me knowing it, which was one of his favorite pastimes. I'd be like furiously writing in the back and on screen for like 3 minutes and then look up and be like, oh, like, thanks, you know? So to alleviate that, I'm on screen now because then he can't pull me in. But that's really it. It was persistence. It was reaching out to someone. It was showing up, and paying it forward. Everything we're talking about today, everything we've talked about is what allowed me to be part of what we call the dream team, you know, Brian, Tim, and now myself. So,
and I was going to say, I'm sorry, Tim. I don't know, because when I came on, it was only you and Brian. Tim was out.
Yeah, he was producing an event. Maybe he was getting his vaccine that day.
He was getting the vaccine. Something like, I think it was something. Tim, I got to have you on, and I will have you on in the future. I am so sorry, but Tim is almost like, and I don't even want to say it like this, but it's almost like afterwards, it's the afterthought going, oh my God, Tim.
Well, by
the way, like,
this show was called Saturday's Cup of Joe. We were running at the same time.
That's right. So that's right. I know.
Because Joe told me. That was one of the advantages of us switching to Friday night. I had another show on with my wife called 8 is Enough. So this spot,
I love it.
My wife doing that show.
This was better.
I grew up watching that show, by the way.
Because I get done, and then now I was like, wow, I could actually go to the Shout Out Saturday, and I could, because it was like fun. I really loved it. I loved the breakfast cereal thing. When you touched on, you know, a couple things. When you touched on what you went through, Brian, with comedy, you know, dancing, music, and comedy. I've known several people that had Tourette's. I actually had somebody work for me, and I didn't even know he had it until, you know, he did something, and I go, are you all right? He goes, I actually have Tourette's. I go, I'm telling you, you better not be messing with me. And he really wasn't. And it was just, it was great. And he explained it a lot more to me. But when you talk about the calming effects, the music, the dancing, the comedy, I think we all have that in us, because this morning I was really stressed out, and we'll get into that later in breaking news, but I had to do the same thing. And I use comedy to deflate a lot, to calm me down. And I've done it my whole life. And it made me feel normal in a way where I wasn't normal back in school, because my mind, I just thought I was always different. I really did.
You are different.
Well, yeah, I am, just probably a little bit. And there's the breaking news. Thank you. Hang on
a second. I'm ready for you whenever you're ready. I got it.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hang on. I just changed screens now. Here we go.
All right. Is it going to say something, or?
Breaking news.
We're going to take it live to Joe Steppe.
Breaking news on Joe. Wait, this is Joe. I'm pulling this up.
You have to have the papers to shuffle around.
Yes, that's right.
I have plenty of papers to shuffle around.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. We have Joe Steppe on scene in Indianapolis, where he is covering
earlier.
I'm on scene in the Batcave.
Yeah, scene in the Batcave,
and Comic-Con, you know.
and what you might not see is the Batmobile back there, because I was in a car accident today.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I was. So first off, and I'm going to go backwards a little bit. I'm going to.
Hey, haven't you heard the song "The Batmobile Lost Its Wheel and the Joker got away"? Hey,
well, actually, this is sort of funny, because I think that's what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
I'm at one of my retailers, and there's a moral to this story. I'm at one of my retailers, and I'm done. I'm backing up, and I'm about to put it in drive so I could go. But I see this other guy backing up. I mean, and he was going quick. So I'm trying to step on the gas really quick and hit my horn at the same time. He hit the back driver's side tire.
Oh.
And I went, oh, great. So I put in park and I get out and the guy's right there and I go like this. And the Batmobile took it like a champ. It really did. I mean, it was barely a scratch on there.
Nice.
And I'm looking at it going, yeah, that's my car. That's the Chrysler 300 I know. So, and then the guy goes like this, well, listen, and I look at him and I go, should I call the cops or whatever? He goes, well, nothing happened. And I don't have insurance, man. And this is my girlfriend's car because I was already taking pictures of license plates and the car and everything else. And he goes, this is my girlfriend's car. I go, well, where's your driver's license? I don't have it. I'm in my swimming trunks. And I went, all right. So he gave me his name and phone number. I got that. And he goes, listen, man, I'm not going to stay. Listen, if we're good. Everything's fine. I go, yeah, it looks like it. And he took off. So I get in my car and I start to drive it. Well, the alignment's messed up. There's something wrong in the all-wheel drive thing came up needing service. I went, great. I called them right back and I go, listen, something's wrong. I feel more comfortable calling the police. He goes, listen, man, I'm not coming back. And I go, of course. And
I gave you his actual phone number. I'm just saying.
I was expecting not to get in touch with him.
Right. Well, he gave me the right phone number. He answered. And I go, of course you're not.
He will never answer your number again, though.
And so I called up the cops. The cops said, you got to treat it as an uninsured motorist. Call your insurance company, whatever. Anyways, the Batmobile did make it to one of the places so they could look at it. And now that thing's down. They're saying the wheel bent slightly in the back. So that's how come he said it could take off everything on there. But they're looking at it. So then I had to grab my wife's car for the rest of the day. And she goes, you better not get into an accident with this. I go, I promise you. I have the Batmobile. Her car is called Maleficent. So I got to take Maleficent for the.
You're not in her car, bro. Your wife will murder you.
Right. And thank God I wasn't in her car. Right. Exactly, Brian. And thank God if I was in her car, I would have been. I wouldn't have never heard the end of it because I don't care whose fault it was.
Brian, you are strangely attractive right now.
Wait, Brianna, do Brianna, please, because it's disturbing. Brianna.
Oh, you want Brianna?
Brianna is disturbing.
This is Brianna. This is my twin sister. Hello.
That's worse. No. Don't do that to me.
Isn't
that is
disturbing? It's disturbing, yeah.
That is. But I like RDJ better. So the other thing that happened this week, so it was all, now I'm going to go back, and I had the colonoscopy, the endoscopy done this week.
Yes.
I woke up in the middle of the colonoscopy.
This is crazy to me. This is
Joe has had a week.
So
that Joe has had a crappy week.
So
everybody stay away from Joe for another 24 hours because who knows?
Away from Brian too, because Brian's starting to stink. It's reeking over here.
Yeah.
So I clean myself out. Everything's good. We go there. I had to wait a little bit to get in, but whatever. Get in on Wednesday.
They didn't have to wait to get in. They got in right away.
But
they got in right away. They did the endoscopy first, where that's where they nicked my voice box and everything. But they even on the paper it said, so I guess I have a bad gag reflex.
I heard that about you.
Yeah, a lot of people have. Thanks, Brian.
Wait, time out.
I didn't go there, but Brian,
no, it's all right. I could take it because so many jokes were made on that.
I have a serious speech pathologist question here. What are they saying? It's not initiating. You can't protect your airway, or
No, they said I kept gagging. You have a
reactive gag.
Yeah, whatever it was hard for them to put the thing down.
You're the only guest we would have on that would ask that question, Nancy. I'm just saying.
A speech pathologist.
Yeah. I was not expecting that. Joe, can you show me the piece of paper that they gave you?
Yeah, what was
I will bring that on to tomorrow's show for you.
There you go.
But anyways, they said that, and I was out the whole time, so I don't remember if I woke up, if I was gagging. I don't remember any of that.
Yeah.
I did wake up, so I'm on my side, and there's a monitor right there.
Yeah, he's watching.
On my side, and all of a sudden I wake up, and you hear somebody go, "He's awake," and I go, "I'm all right," and I'm watching the video. I'm watching as they're going. I'm going, does that look right?
You're like,
because I don't know what's
something
right.
doesn't feel right.
They didn't just like knock you with the heavy stick right away.
Right?
No, because the doctor
Knock him
said,
out.
Where's a sock with nickels in it when you need it?
Well, he said something like he's almost done anyways.
I don't care. Not done. Not
and
yet
I don't know
done.
what, Nancy, I just know that I was awake. I saw it on the video. I said something like, I'm okay, because they said, do you feel cramping? I didn't feel the cramping in my stomach.
And someone dialed up they dialed up your drip, and
He's like, I feel like crap, but everything's all right.
Right. And then I fell asleep. So
I had something similar. I had years ago a tumor in my jaw, and they're going in through your mouth and they're excavating it, and it can hear it, and I was crying, and the doctor's like, "Are you okay? Like, are you okay? Can you?" I'm like, I can't feel anything, but like everything you're doing in there, like I can hear every scrape. It was so disturbing to be awake for it while he was doing it, and then it was yeah, give me the heavy stick. I can't. It's not a pain thing. It's just, I shouldn't be able to hear you scraping in my bone. Ugh.
And that stuff is not, I'm with you. I could probably take that a lot better. I've had dentists. I could take that a lot better. This, thank God I was halfway out, but I think I went back to sleep. Mm. But lastly, I'm gonna end on this. So Michael Ray just said, and you were the kindness king Monday night. So Michael Ray had a drawing. It wasn't his drawing. It was for 5 bottles of whiskey.
Ooh.
And he did a live thing. He was recording it. Molly was in the back. He's recording the whole thing. I got on.
Was it tagged? I feel like I was I don't feel like I was tagged, and I should know when there's whiskey.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you. So he's going through it. There's 5 bottles. I can't remember. I think it was Blanton's, Eagle Rare, Michael Ray. If you're on, I can't remember the other ones, so you're going to have to comment what other ones were on there. So he goes like this, all right, I'm doing the drawing now, and he did it live. The next thing you know, number 4 comes up, and I see it because I'm number 4, and I went, woo! I won! And I only thought it was 1 bottle. I didn't think it was all 5 of them. So like this, well, Michael Ray, I'm not really up on whiskey that much out of those. Can you pick it out for me? He goes, pick it out for you. You won all 5. And I go,
Michael, if one of those got lost in the mail and was rerouted to Culver City.
Well, this is what I did. I go, well, Michael Ray, do me a favor. Pick out 1 that is good, and why don't you do a drawing for the rest of the 4 and just pay it forward. And I did. I just paid it. Paid it for.
Yeah.
What would end up happening here with 5 bottles of whiskey? So he told me, he said keep the Blanton one, and that's pretty expensive whiskey actually. And he's gonna hold it for me until he comes back up to Indy and visits. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So that was I went backwards a little bit, but
it's okay. We breaking news. You said breaking news. We had to.
I like where we ended. That I think that's the best story to end on, as opposed to any of the other ones. So
no, exactly. So at the end of the day, there's lots of fun and togetherness to be had on LinkedIn. You just got to show up. Yep. And the beauty about the live shows, right, is, and Joe talked about it, and again, these are things that have morphed over time, show up with your favorite cereal, talk about your favorite Saturday morning cartoon, who you want to give a shout out to. We do social distancing, which was all born again during the pandemic. And, we have a good time. And the show went from being like an hour, 2 hours to 4 hours every weekend. And it's just because everybody was showing up and staying and or coming in at different times. I don't know, I wanted to create a space for people to be able to show up, you know. I'm trying to find something here. I can't find it, but I bet Nancy has it because she's always got it handy. There it is. Yeah, you know, a space to show up and to have fun. And, you know, we had created these for the 150th episode of Shout Out Saturday. There's your bat action. And it's me and Tim. And there's Nancy right there, pointing to Voice Your Vibe. Yeah, and this, we had these commemorative badges made for the 150 guests that we had on the 150th episode, 4-hour episode of Shout Out Saturday Live. And
you're Catwoman.
Yes, shout out to that. And you know, just fun, right? I mean, it's just show up, have fun, come together, and you know, especially in the pandemic, people need a place to come together. And but we're always there.
More than that happens. Let's be honest. More than that happens there. People show up, they gather, and it is fun. But
lying the whole time.
Well, no, there's more than that. I said I didn't.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more, because the reality is some beautiful things happen there. In addition to people showing up and having fun, people show up. Okay, they show up. They show up uncertain, sick, not wanting to go on, and end up having these moments where they come on, or even if they stay in the comments, right? They're getting support from the community, and they're really
like fame. They get their I don't want to say, well, almost like
they get their opportunity to shine live.
That's the thing. Like all the guests come in the comments live onto the show. That's the way we have our guests. And it's always about shining the light on those people. So like, random example, we had David joined us from Scotland, and he said, you know, I want to be on more shows. And Shout Out Saturday is a show where all sorts of hosts from different platforms show up, have fun. You know, they want to be guests. You know, and it's fun to not have to be the host. And you know, they have a good time. And it's cool because in that moment we had like 4 hosts in the green room and a couple in the comments. And as soon as David said it, like 2 people in the comments said, would love to have you on our show. And then I looked down at the hosts in the green room and said, I bet that the hosts I see in the green room right now would love to have you on their show. And they all nodded. And so we got them on 7 shows in 30 seconds. And again, the power of coming together, right? There's underlying things that happen. One, yes, LinkedIn is a business social networking platform. Yes, it's all about, before the job, the role, the title of the company, it's all about humans with a heartbeat. The beauty about that is you build relationships with all these people that show up, and you wind up doing business, having partnerships, creating things with people, right? And then the other side to it is, as Nancy shared, yes, you know, we've had people that have literally come on the shows that are depressed, have COVID, you name it, it's happened, and they felt better walking away, feeling better, lifted, happier, you know, experiencing some full force funness, as Nancy says. And more importantly, the other side to it, which is underlying tone of both shows, is this. You know, I know what it's like to be really uncomfortable on camera. We love you, Kenny D. Yeah. I know what it's like to be really uncomfortable on camera. And knowing that, the shows just like this, it's just, let's come together and just whatever, right? Like, yes, we do some social distancing. Yes, give a couple shout outs. Yes, you know, share a couple things, but it's all about fun. And you walk away with the whole Pavlov's Law scenario going, oh, okay, Shout Out Saturday, fun. I can go do that. I can go on another show as a guest. I can go create a show. I mean, look at Nancy. She created her own, you know, co-host of 2 shows. She does her own show, co-host of shows, joins our shows. You know, she's got all sorts of stuff going on. And it's, you know, an incredible thing. There you go.
Happy
this has become an awesome community.
Happy anniversary.
Happy wedding anniversary. That's amazing.
Mariella, that's awesome.
Yes.
So Mary Alex, she's on my team, and this is the whole point of this. I think what you're saying, just to sum it up simply, is the human part of this. Exposure. I'm going to meet people that I would never met. I would have never met Joe Steppe because I don't go to Indianapolis, Indiana. But Joe Steppe, I mean, I don't know if you guys know, I lost my job in June of 2020. Joe was on the phone with me on a Zoom call when I lost my job. He said, "Hey, Ira, you got some free time? Why don't you build my website?" That turned into Bowman Digital.
Totally like that. I mean,
well, it wasn't exactly like that.
A man when he was down, but
exactly. But listen to this, right? Just listen to how this all works. I was on that call with him because I met him on LinkedIn, right? That whole conversation happened, and that started, I was in the print business for over 20 years. That started a brand new chapter for me. I'm a business owner working in a different industry, and my company has billed out, invoiced more than 6 figures of work in the first 11 months. We just broke our single month sales record for May this month. Almost
awesome, man.
Almost every one of those invoices have come through efforts on LinkedIn. Either people that I met on LinkedIn, from posts that I've made, from referrals. Like Joe Stepke sends me a referral every day, pretty much. So like all that stuff happens because people meet me or see me or have been introduced to me somewhere along the way. And it's not just me. This is not nearly about just me. It's about everybody. You came on this show. Today, people got to know Nancy. They got to know Brian that maybe didn't know Nancy. And now they've cataloged you. And that sounds bad, but let me tell you what I mean by it. It's actually a good thing. You go, next time you hear about somebody who needs a web designer guy, or maybe you need somebody who needs a pathologist or wants to be on LinkedIn Live show or whatever, you go, I remember I met this person on that show, and now I can help connect. And that's what happens to me all the time. Somebody goes, I need a website. And to borrow Joe's phrase, I know a guy, right? So they go, hey,
a lot. I know a guy.
Have you talked to Ira? Because the Ira does that kind of stuff. That happens all the time. LinkedIn, like I might have met you, Brian. I might have met Nancy because you're in the Los Angeles area. But the fact is, I'm meeting people from Africa, from Asia, from Europe, from the East Coast. Now, when my wife and I are getting ready to do a 10-day trip to the East Coast in a couple weeks.
Nice.
And everywhere we're stopping, I know that I need to let so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so know that I'm going to be there because I don't know the next time I'm going to go. And we've become friends, to your point earlier, Brian. We've become LinkedIn fam. And so I want to spend time with them. They really are my friends and my family. Like Joe's like my brother from another mother. You know what I mean? But I think that's what everybody's trying to say here is, yeah, it is business. I agree. Like I've made my whole living. I've fed the 8 kids all year long. We've actually made more money this last 12 months than we have probably ever made ever in our life in that same amount of time. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
We had this experience that you're talking about just recently because Brian and I had never met. Raquel,
who are you, by the way?
Have never met. What?
Who are you?
Oh, hi. Catwoman. Nice to meet you.
Thanks. All right.
Yeah.
So, and Michael Ray, we were all in LA at the same time. And like the LinkedIn universe, I don't know, there must have been like a jolt of energy because the 4 of us all got to meet. And it was just crazy because, you haven't seen these. Oh, yes. I'm waiting for my sweatshirt. You guys, do you know that you can
look the Smile Louisville project?
Yes. And you can get merch. You can get merch. I'm waiting.
Yeah, you can go on his website and order it. Look, I did not know.
Put your website, please.
It's Smile Louisville. It's Smile
Project. Smile Project. Okay, Michael Ray.
So here's the thing, though. Like, I met him on LinkedIn a long time ago. Joe knows him. Joe just had me put out a press release for Michael Ray. It got picked up by 313 news outlets just this last week.
Yeah.
None of that would have happened without LinkedIn. None of it.
Right.
Because Joe wouldn't have known Michael. I wouldn't have known Michael. I wouldn't have known Joe. And I wouldn't have done the press release. I mean, it's just amazing how LinkedIn makes and fosters these connections that change real life. I laugh when people say social media is all phony. I'm like, you're not doing it right then. If you think social media is phony, the problem is not with social media, it's with you. You have to be real. Radiating. Yeah. I almost heard that, I think, somewhere. Radiating.
Something. So I've heard something about this radiating real. I'm gonna have to go follow that hashtag.
I might make a hashtag.
I think the bats behind you are saying it. It's just floating off the behind you. Radiating real.
Either that or the cat's passing gas. One or the other.
Yeah, but by the way, like Michael sent me this. Michael, master of, what did you say? Master of excellence. And this is the first time I've ever received a card like this. And this was Michael and I meeting in person in LA for the first time without the filter on it. And it says, love is life's greatest. This is when I jumped into Michael's arms, literally. I'm actually straddling him in that
video.
Yeah, this is what it looks like with me straddling him. That's me right there. That's Michael's long legs with his bright white shoes. And then yeah, these are moments. These are moments that we had together, and I love this guy. He's just got the biggest heart in the world. And Maddie Moo, like
her smile is the most infectious smile on all of social media.
Oh my gosh, seriously, yeah, just amazing.
And talk about giving just to give.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
Yes. So go and support the Smile. Hang on. Go support you guys.
We got it there. We got it.
You really need to put that
there.
in there, please, because
it's in there.
You have okay. There you go.
Yeah, Michael, and I love you more, Michael. I love you more, Michael.
On Instagram and Facebook as well as LinkedIn, right? Not just on he's on multiple social media platforms there.
Yeah, I will. It was awesome that I got to meet.
Michael said he's crying now.
Of course he's crying. That's
you better
why we
be crying. We love you.
That's why we love you.
I love you, Michael.
I want Greek food. Sorry, that's in the comments yet.
It's so random. What are you talking about?
Because Mariella said that we are invited to Santa Barbara for homemade Greek dinner.
Hey, that's awesome. We'll take the jet.
I'm so excited. Her husband, speaking of musicians, her husband is a musician, and I created
jam session.
I created his logo. Yeah, he plays the bass, he plays the trombone, he plays the piano and the drums.
Hey,
he has a YouTube channel. You can find him.
In good company. Hey, Ira, you're old enough. You remember the group The Knack? You remember the song My Sharona?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I learned how to play bass from the bass player of The Knack. When I was in LA. Super cool dude.
That is really cool. I grew up a percussionist, so I'm a singer. In fact, I was a voice major in college, but I played the percussion. So
wait. What are you gonna sing for us?
Yeah, Joe doesn't let me sing.
Oh, that's all right. I'll let you sing because
I vote sing.
I'm a country guy. In fact, it's really funny because
it is when you watch his stuff on Facebook because he does the Facebook karaoke.
Are you a little bit country?
Oh, he's all.
I'm a country.
Are you a little bit rock and roll? Which one are you?
I'm a little of both, actually. So if you know me, mostly my heart is mostly country ballads. I'm a ballad guy. Love that passion. So like,
I'm a country fan.
Yeah, I'm huge, but I don't like necessarily what they're doing with it now. Like I'm more of like a George Strait and a Clint Black and a Travis Tritt.
More classic.
Yeah, but I mean, I still like Colin Ray and I mean all these guys. I love them. Bands like Alabama and Montgomery Gentry.
I like modern country.
Yeah.
I do, but starting with like I don't know, Garth Brooks is the person who of course is like
Garth Brooks is amazing, 100%.
Right, I started listening to country music because of Garth Brooks.
Yeah, Garth is classic, but like even Keith Whitley and some of the older guys, the George Joneses, and I mean. I'm country music through and through, but I grew up riding horses. My mom lives in this tiny little town in the middle of Utah. So I started riding horses when I was 10 years old, and she sold tack and saddles is what the equipment you put on
horses.
Yeah, horses. So that's kind of how I got the country flavor. But I grew up in Las Vegas. That's not a huge country town. So heard lots of grunge. I graduated high school in 95, right? So I lived through the grunge area. So and then heavy metal, right?
Yes, I had pictures of Motley Crue in my locker.
My sisters were all into that. So you'll hear me with some Bon Jovi and some White Snake and some Poison, and I'll sing some of that stuff too. But
well, we're gonna have to have you. We're gonna have to have you on What's Good Wednesday, and we want you to pick a song because that's how we do it on Wednesdays. You pick your jam and we get our groove on. But in your case, not only do we get our groove on, I want you to pick your jam and I want you to sing a song for us on Wednesday.
Sure,
okay?
I'm not bashful. I've sung in front of thousands and thousands of people before. So
right on.
Don't miss What's Good Wednesday, guys.
Joe sings in the Bat Cave, but only
one person or a stadium.
No. I sing in the shower too.
Okay, there you go.
So,
Nancy sings in the Bat Cave too, but she is a bat. Well, literally the Bat Cave. See, like that.
I sing in my car. Ruby loves how I sing.
And you know what? And it's okay of how you sing or wherever you do it.
Hey,
And
just sing.
as long as I used to sing "Aha." Do you remember "Take on
That's
Me"?
the best. Trying to hit that high note.
Yes.
I used to be able to do it, and I don't know what. Well, definitely I can't do it now.
Don't you try. I'll be mad.
Yeah, I won't. But I used to be able to do it. And when we're driving, I can't do it anymore.
Whatever.
Oh God, you got to cut this
Mouth
moment.
is-
You need to create a video out of this moment of the show.
Oh my gosh. But I used to hate it that I couldn't sing it anymore. And I remember when I was driving and my kids were in the back and my son, he could change his voice octaves pretty good. He's a lower talk now, but he was able to do it. And I remember I flipped off the radio and I was like, we're not listening to this anymore.
That's actually the science. The science behind that is the lower that you can go in your natural register, the higher you can go in your falsetto. Most people don't know that, but it's true.
Well,
as a tenor, your falsetto is not as
Love.
yeah, he could go really low. He does a good
Barry White.
Armstrong impression.
Ooh, Satchmo.
Yeah, he has done that, and it's. I was going to say,
And I was in high school.
and it's almost like my God, and he does it to a different. He heard a different like meme, and I think he did it to apple bottom jeans. But he heard it from somebody else, and he did that, and I laughed so hard. But it sounded so good. It was just awesome how he did
That
it.
is
My
awesome.
wife and I were on a cruise ship, and Sweet Caroline, that song Sweet Caroline, right?
Yeah. Dun, dun.
I love that song too. That's
They
good.
did this karaoke. They did this karaoke thing, and so somebody did this song, "Sweet Caroline," and it was like one of the first days. It was one of those week-long cruises. Well, like it seemed like every 5 minutes on that ship TV, they were playing that thing, and you could just hear people, bah, 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 and it became this big thing, "Sweet Caroline." So that's a fun one I like to do.
Sweet Caroline. There it is.
You gotta go to the next one because it's so good, so good,
So good.
Right.
So
Good.
good.
Yep.
And that's like one of my favorite shows was Glee.
I love Glee.
I loved it, and my wife and I would watch it. We got to see him in concert in Indianapolis. So my oldest daughter, who's 28 now, but the funny thing was I got tickets for my wife and I, and then she wanted to go, so I got tickets for her because it was a graduation present. But my wife, our tickets were a lot better than hers. I didn't care where they were. I wanted to be able to go see all of them when we were going. So it was just, it's funny that she talks about, my parents had to get better seats. So,
Yeah, and I love show tunes, and they did a lot of good.
yeah, they did. They did. They were there's so many good songs that they did.
Wait, Rock says that Michael is FaceTiming her right now, and he is legit crying.
No doubt.
Nice. After I get off here, I'll call you. All right? We all love you, man.
We do. We love you.
Big love.
Why don't you just give him the link and he can join us?
Yeah. Well, hold on. Yeah, well, you guys got it right there. Am I not doing enough? All right, hold on a minute. I guess I can.
You have all the power, bro. You want to be the host.
I'm not sure you know this, but like, there's a group of us that take over shows.
No, really?
Yeah.
So let's see if I can go.
What's the longest show you guys have had?
You ready to make record?
This is the longest one. We typically will go like 70 minutes, and then we cut it.
Got it.
On this
All
We're
right.
just getting started.
Yeah.
We have to
I've
like
never-
12 minutes.
I just sent it to you.
11 minutes.
I've never gone 4 hours.
Ira has 8 kids, remember, so we
Oh,
need to be
okay,
mindful of.
Yeah, I've never gone 4 hours, but I have gone 3.5 personally.
Nancy's getting all excited. She's like, "Yeah!"
I gotta collect my snacks.
asking, have you
Wait,
guys-
break and be right back.
Have you guys gone to
Yes,
the
Mark.
Los
Mark
Angeles
Lee's.
Story?
Wait a minute. Mark Lee's theme song, by the way, is "Mr. Sexy Man."
Sexy Man.
Like, there's literally a song called "Mr. Sexy Man." Ira, when you come on Wednesday, Mark will come on, and we've called him #Mr. Sexy Man. And
put
it is the
in there somewhere.
funniest song. Like, it's
Hey,
Mr. Sexy Man. What's your name? What's your? It's stuck in your head like it's crazy. And I'm looking at you. You're looking at me.
For those of you who are wondering what we meant when we said,
My God, look at this guy.
Michael Ray.
Yeah, look at you trying to cover it. Come on, get that out of your mouth. What's up, gorgeous?
I'm in love with you all.
Hey, Big Poppy.
Oh, we love you more, man.
Love you
All I
more
can
than you love
see
me.
is the beautiful Ira. The others are not dripping in for some reason, but that's okay because I already know I have etched in my brain how beautiful you are in my mind. That's all I need.
How about that
We
press
love you.
release, bro? I was very excited to hit the 300 number.
I don't know what it means in your world, but okay.
It means
It's a good thing, Michael.
It means backlinks. That's what it means to be.
Right?
Yeah.
It gave you a bunch of backlinks for the Smile Project Louisville.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
You're all
Michael,
over the,
it's good. It's good.
Hey, so
Yeah,
really
so when
quick,
I do those press releases, I put them out on an RSS feed to 550 outlets, news outlets. But because the different outlets carry different genres of news,
blow a kiss. Not blow them a kiss. Don't give me a kiss. I know I'm right here.
Oh,
Okay, I'm right here. I see you. Blow them a kiss.
Hi, Maddie Moon.
there it is.
They just made my day.
That's what it's all about.
Ooh, I got a kiss from Maddie Moon.
That's what it's all about right there. I was
I
telling
love
him earlier, Michael,
the
that
dynamic duo. Just
her
love it.
smile is the most infectious smile on all of social media.
Absolutely.
But nobody has a better smile than Maddie Moon.
You know, and
Aw.
I'll tell you, when Maddie meet her too, I'm glad that Michael and her both came. And I had such a great time just being there with them. And even my daughter said, Tori, which obviously she was there with us, Michael.
Yep.
She was going like this. Maddie Moo kept looking at you, Dad. I think she really liked you. And I go like this. Well, I'm glad. That's a good thing, I think. And she goes,
right?
and it was
It is
like
a
my
good
daughter
thing.
was proud of me. So
My kids actually got a kick out of that too. The video
Hey,
series.
come here, dude, real quick. Hey, come here. I want you to meet my 14-year-old son, Sam. He goes, oh boy, wait for it.
Oh, boy.
Wait for this head of hair.
Yeah, nice hair, man.
all right.
You recognize his face too. You could see Michael Ray in that face.
Yeah.
Good hair right there.
Pandemic hair or all the time hair?
You don't look. You're gonna be good looking too. That's a win.
He's already good looking. What are you talking
Here's
about?
hang on. You guys have all seen Big, right? You've seen Big?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He reminds me of that kid from Big.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
got Tom Hanks hair.
Mikey. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Love it.
That is good. Michael, what kind of whiskey was it? I was trying to, from what happened Monday, which I was surprised that I didn't expect 5 bottles because I wasn't thinking.
I put something up for them, Joe.
So you want you got of the 5 the best bottle. We gave you a bottle of Blanton's.
Lance, all right.
Do you guys know what this is?
Is that a distillery?
This is a distillery in Los Angeles called Los Angeles Distillery. I did some work for these guys.
Nice.
You guys can go there in LA and do a tour.
All right, Michael Ray, you coming back?
I need to now.
Cool.
Let's do this, girl.
Yeah.
Come on.
Hey,
Let me
I
show you.
can't think of a better time than summer, right? A good summer day.
right? I need a reason to come
Hang on,
back.
that's the right one.
You've got one now.
Yeah.
Hang on.
You've got one.
Well, you guys have been
Awesome.
amazing tonight.
While I was looking
We
for
love you, brother.
a pick.
Love you.
No, no. So
I
I
wanted to tempt them with something. Oh, here we go. We'll share that one. That's what it is.
Oh, beautiful. All right, Michael, just tell me your travel dates.
My travel dates, right? That's all it takes is travel dates.
Just some travel dates. That's all we
remember, you
need.
got to come up here too.
I'm doing Indy soon again, right? But I'm trying to manage it all because I'm going to Texas here in about 3 weeks. So
Yep. You just have, you
Texas
know,
is really close to LA.
Right? It's halfway at that point. You got
That's right.
It's like a
25 hours
30-minute
to-
hour flight. I mean, not even. You could do it in a car in like 5 minutes. It's right there.
When I moved to California from Texas, I drove. It was 25 hours.
You're not helping, Ira.
Woo!
right. What
That's
happened
nice.
to this 5-minute thing?
Just listen to me. Listen to
Like you
me.
come hop in the jet, it'll boom. we'll get you
Right?
there fast,
In the
man.
G5.
That's right, the G5.
Everyone's got a G5, right?
Yeah,
Everyone
exactly.
should
I have two.
I've got a Chevy Express. It's almost as good. That's a full-size van for those of you who don't know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I got my Honda. That's all it takes.
Oops, Raquel, Uncle Rocky. Oh yeah, Aunt Rocky. Step away from the tequila.
You know what? Yeah,
You're so
I-
funny because
I-
you said
I-
too much tequila.
I know my girl.
yeah, I think somewhere on there somebody says too much tequila or something.
That would be Raquel who's drinking.
That's Raquel
tequila.
outing herself.
Yeah, she's.
Don't. Okay, public service announcement.
Yes.
Do not ever go round for round on tequila with Raquel.
Or her mother.
Or her mother, yeah, or Susana. Do not do it. It's a losing from out the gate. You are already done.
I lost
Oh
my
my God.
taste for
20
tequila.
years of friendship. I have never once come close.
I'm more of a potato juice guy than a tequila guy.
Vodka.
Vodka.
I like
Vodka. Yeah.
Well, vodka.
Most people don't want to drink vodka with me.
I will. I like vodka actually.
I love vodka.
I'm coming for you, savor my flavor.
Yes.
I'm gonna hug it out with this beautiful ass.
You better, and you better get a video of that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's gonna
Can I
happen.
just tell you that Kenneth is probably like my wife and I when we were doing Eight is Enough, when we were doing that show, he's like our favorite like person to have an audience.
I
'Cause
love
he-
he
Kenny.
just
Shows
turned
up
the phrase.
everywhere.
Savor the flavor of the awesomeness in you.
Yeah.
It's like if you're in a bad way, all you need really is just to go find where Kenneth is and read
That's
a
right.
couple of
A
comments.
shot of Kenny D. That's it.
Oh, all you need is that say one of those greetings that has all those words in it in some order that's made for you.
That's right.
It's three lines. Every time,
Scrumptious.
and it is delicious.
Yes, tasty, delicious, scrumptiously tasty,
Scrumptiously,
edibly.
deliciously,
delicious.
edibly tasty, good. That's right.
But you know, for me,
Italy,
music. That's what
Yeah.
music does for me. Like music, when I'm in a bad spot, like I put in on music, and I'll put on different music based on how I'm feeling. Like,
How you're
you know what I mean?
This
Like
has come up
I
so
got my
many
country
times.
music, I got my rock.
The empathy of music, right? The empathy of music, how we can connect so
Yep.
emotionally to music. That's like a unifying thing, this empathy through music, which is amazing. You can put on the same one song and people just connect to that song, therefore connecting to each other.
And then there's the difference between, for me, okay, so you have to understand as a musician, for me, there's the hearing of it, there's the playing of it, and then there's the singing of it. And all three do different things for me. So like if I'm behind the sticks in a set and I'm playing a drum set, it's a different thing for me than if I'm standing in front of a microphone or if I just got the headset going. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Music.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the power of music. But then there's, like I said, there's the three different elements. And I don't know if you're not a musician and if you don't sing, if it works the same way. But for me, there's nothing in my life more powerful other than maybe prayer than music.
Amen,
Yes.
brother.
Yep.
Amen to that. Can I get a hallelujah?
Hallelujah!
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah!
Preach it. Now we sound like my church. Preach it.
Yes.
I get told to shut up there too, by the way, because I'm the person who I'll try to have a conversation with the preacher while he's preaching. I do that.
Tell me you're joking.
I'm really not kidding. I wish I was. It's sad but true. But and
Wow.
I
Oh
said,
my God.
I'm with those, like if you go to church, most churches, the back is the popular place to sit. Like that's where it's full, and the front is like desert island. I sit like right in front of the
Michael Ray, could you imagine back when we were like going to church, or even when we were altar boys, and somebody would do that? I couldn't see somebody just.
I've done that. No, I didn't grow up Catholic, but my wife grew up Catholic, so I've been to mass and I've done it to them too. Like I'll do it to anybody.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, that would have been funny.
I need to find me a good black church because I would fit in.
Baptist. You need to find a Baptist church.
Yeah, I am a Baptist. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're talking back, it's Baptist, and I know.
yeah.
So check this out. They put me in the sound booth. I run the video for the church. I think they only put me back there to shut me up.
You'd be really good at this.
You know, you do live videos on social media, right? We need some help in the video department.
We're gonna keep you in this. It's a room. It's soundproof. You can hear us. We're not able to hear you. Just we want you there. Can you get that done?
So we have a microphone, and I don't run the soundboard most of the time. I'm just running the video. Every once in a while, the soundboard guy forgets to turn that mic off, and so I'll get a text from my wife. My wife will text me and say, "We can hear you."
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be funny. A little bit.
Comment jail. I'm in comment jail. Sorry.
Already? Oh no.
Well, I did this. I did last night, and then today, and then
I know. We had.
But I was saying, Mariella, I would love that. That would be.
You know, it would be nice. It would be really nice if they would quantify and clarify that
when that's going to happen.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because I get penalized for engagement all the time.
Right.
I'm like, that makes total sense on an engagement
Well, and
platform.
I've asked them to clarify.
Show up. But guess what we're gonna do? You don't have so much engagement you can do.
Here's the thing, like if they would tell us this is an opportunity for them to improve. Because I said, look, if you would just tell me like my limit is $250 a day or whatever it really is,
Right.
then I could budget it. And
Yes.
but because you don't tell me, I'm just guessing, and I hate.
And then there's the adrenaline, right? Then there's the adrenaline of like,
That's
well,
why
come on, how many more can I get in?
I called it the antisocial network for a long time, and I'm sure that didn't win me any friends with LinkedIn, but I did. I called it the antisocial because I'm like, it's the only platform I know of, social media platform, where you get penalized for being social.
Right. Yep. Well, and now I'm in jeopardy of Shout Out Saturday not being able to comment and greet. So I've got to. It's the phone. The phone is not my friend any longer.
That's your reward for coming on our show. Is now your show.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
Nancy, you'll be fine by tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah,
It'll be good by tomorrow.
The universe has my back.
Yep, it is. Because obviously the universe has been really good for me this week.
Yeah, I'm glad that Ira's between us. I'm really glad that Ira's between us. So none of that, like,
Nick breaks box. He woke up during the colonoscopy and he got in a car wreck. Well, brother, you survived.
But he won a bottle of whiskey. He won a bottle of whiskey.
I won 5 actually.
You won
5
I
bottles.
won 5.
I just gave 4 away. Well,
but you put out some good into the universe too, Joe.
Oh yeah, I sure did. It showed it to me.
We talked about people call it karma. I call it reaping what you sow. You call it whatever you want because it seems like everybody believes in some form of this. But you get what you give. You put it out, you're gonna get it.
Right.
Now, hell, bourbon's going to Texas, in Minnesota, and New York.
Boom, baby.
So yeah.
Notice he didn't tell LA. He didn't say.
Yeah, I know. I told you I would DM you.
You said you were gonna slip into my DMs. I'm waiting.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's happening right now. Okay. Yeah, you hear me, big copy.
I've been to your crib. I just didn't write down your address.
Exactly. You did my house, but you have no idea where I live.
That's right.
I love it.
Yeah.
Look at that smile.
I mean, it's infectious. Yeah. I mean,
you sexy
and
man.
Michael Ray, you come on in 2 weeks.
Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm glad I did.
Yeah, Michael Ray, you're on June 11th. I'm actually going to be on the road while you're on the show, but I'm still going to try to make it. But if you're in Boston, New York, or Washington, D.C., New York City, I'm going to announce a little bit closer to the dates when I'm there, but I'm going to do a little get together at each place. So I don't know.
Right on.
Like a neighborhood bar or something.
Yeah.
And I'll announce it.
I'm going to be in the DC, Virginia area July 17th. So anyone who's there, I would love to get together. You know, I'll see Raquel. I know I will see Raquel.
Well, that is Nancy. So this is one of the things that it's your reality changes. Like when you go to a place now, because of LinkedIn, like people are going to recognize you. So it's like one of those things. If you don't announce it and tell people like, hey, give them an opportunity to meet you, you know, it will bite you if you don't. So you
Well,
really
I want the opportunity to meet them also. So
Yeah.
I'll put it out when it comes closer, but I will be a keynote speaker, which is huge excitement for me. July 17th in Northern Virginia. So I will be in that DC, Virginia area for a couple of days.
I had people tell me in Philadelphia, like, you're going to literally drive right by us. You better stop and see us along the way. And I'm like, look, I'm on vacation with my wife. And if I don't actually take a vacation with my wife, I might not have a wife to come back to. You know what I'm saying?
Ready?
So, let me try to make wife happy and everybody else happy too. So I thought, you know, I'm just at one time, one place for like a couple hours. Come here and meet me, and I will take a video with you. I'll take a picture with you. I'll buy you a drink. I mean, something. You know what I mean? We'll have some fun, and then the rest of the time, I'm going to be with my wife. You know what I mean?
Hey, Raquel, we should organize a LinkedIn Live local.
I started something last year here in the Inland Empire because I used to do LinkedIn Live or LinkedIn Local San Francisco with a few people up in the Bay Area before I moved down here. And then when I got to the Inland Empire, I'm like, there's stuff in LA. And I did like 4 of them. Did one in Pasadena. I did one in LA. I did a couple in a couple other places. And I'm like, is there anything closer to me? Because I was driving like 90 minutes.
Yeah, that's far.
To these places. And so I created this thing called the Inland Empire Networking Group. I know that's really original, but you know, that was the idea. And then the pandemic hit. And so we never actually got to meet in person. So I am trying to start that back up here shortly.
Awesome. Yeah, and those of you who don't know LA, we don't discuss in distance when you're traveling. We discuss time.
And that's without Rex.
Yes, that's without Rex.
I'm 60 minutes from downtown in a utopia.
Right.
But in reality, I'm like 2.5 hours from downtown.
I can make it to my brother in 20 minutes or an hour and 15 minutes.
My brother lived in Hollywood before he moved.
Oh.
And my
brother's in the Valley and I'm West Side. So, you know, that's
West Side.
Yeah. That's a whole
my wife went to school in Santa Monica, so like that's her neck of the woods. But for me, I'm like east of East LA. For those of you, like I'm halfway to Palm Springs. I'm really just as close to
Wait, you said you're in Riverside?
Just south of Riverside in Moreno Valley. Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Who else
As a bird would fly, it's not that bad, but the problem is 91 doesn't move. It's like frozen molasses. So you got to go up to 60 or 10 to cut over, or I got to come the other way and go like down to San Diego at Temecula and then make a U-turn.
10 does not move either. 10, 405, 101.
Yeah.
We don't get a lot of movement in LA when it comes to our freeways.
Yeah. Joe had a lot of movement the other day at his colonoscopy.
Oh my God.
And we're back there.
And we went back to the breaking news.
Right back to teasing Joe. This is why I knew you guys were going to fit in so well, because that's what we're doing.
Right. That is just
let's tease Joe.
Yep, and you're right. I had a lot of movement.
Yeah.
Not as much as you would think.
I mean, I'm wondering, like, how fast would you say you were moving?
Oh,
like, was it flying out of you?
I will tell you, the kids went into, or one of my kids went into the downstairs bathroom at one point in time, and I went, "You got to be kidding me!" and ran upstairs. But that was it. That was really it.
At least it worked, because I've heard people having to like go do it again.
You're drinking that green drink a lot, Joe. Are you shedding a lot of pounds?
No, I'm not. Why?
I was just curious because I'm still stuck. Like, remember when we had that thing?
Oh yeah. No, I actually.
Right there. I'm not under 200 pounds yet, which is frustrating.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
I got on the scale yesterday. I was 202.6 pounds.
Wait, Ira, how tall are you?
5'8".
Okay. Nancy, aren't you 5'8"?
I'm
5'7", 5'9". Everybody's taller than me, so I can't gauge like that.
Everybody thinks that I'm going to be like 6 foot something, and then I show up in person, I'm 5'8", and they're like, "What? I didn't know you were a shrimp." I'm like, "Yeah, I am." So, and I
wonder if people expect me to show up tall or not. Like that's
our family genealogy is not tall. So I come from a Jewish family, from Jewish lineage.
Hey.
So I'm a shrimp, but I'm stocky, so I'm like a pit bull. I'm like the human pit bull. So anyway, I've been trying to lose weight forever.
Mariella, if you lived next door, I Oh gosh, I just would give you money for groceries.
But Joe and I did this thing with Virginia. Virginia's a coach, so we did this thing. That was almost a year ago. Was that a year ago now?
Yeah, it was probably about a year ago when, yeah.
So we had this contest for a week. It was like, let's see who could lose more percentage, not weight.
Percentage of body fat.
Percentage, and Joe beat me. But
I had to starve myself all week.
But I did good. Like I
did. I thought I did good. I mean, the 8 ball helped out a lot. That was okay. The brown liquor kept me sleeping at night, though. Yeah, it was.
A year later, though, I'm still at that same weight. Like I haven't moved off that weight. Like yesterday, I did 15,000 steps, which is more than I normally do. Like I'm averaging 11,000 steps per day this week. So I did 15,000. I thought, oh, cool. I've probably lost at least a half a pound, right? I mean, even if just water weight. So I got on the scale and it said 203, and I was like, I hate you, scale.
I don't know why I'm sending it in private comments. I need a bio break. Would you like to just me walk away and you make fun of me while I'm gone, or do you want to drop me?
No, I mean, well, it is late.
And Nancy says that, by the way, because that's what we do on the shows. Whenever if Tim walks away for a bio break or Nancy walks away.
We're not smart enough on our show to have that. We just sit there and do the pee-pee dance. So.
No, I've left before. I've left and done it.
Brian left and completely abandoned, and I'm like, okay.
Nobody drinks more coffee than me, and I just sit here and shake until it's over. But
anyways, we've been
Nancy,
on.
Nancy, it's okay.
I got my granddaughter upstairs, so
there you go. So it's time to wrap the show, friends.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap.
We're gonna ruin it for all of us, just so you know.
That's all right. Joe messed it up for everybody.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Everybody can go home now. Yeah.
I do this. I do it to Ira.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. There you go.
There it is.
And that's all about,
just hit end.
Maybe Joe goes and we get Mariella on. She said she wanted to come on.
Yeah. Is there a way that I could? I mean, you guys could.
Yeah, not really.
No.
Yeah, you're the host, bro. You're the hostess with the mostest.
I'm sorry.
That's right. We've had fun. This has been great. You guys are
it
more
has.
Back anytime. I mean, we all pretty much vibe very well.
There's a lot of love in this room here.
I wish my son was down here. I'd make him say it for us. Because when he goes in that low voice,
love,
you don't even think of the way he looks. You would not expect that.
That's all right. You can bring him on tomorrow or something. But Ira and Joe,
thank you.
Guys, thank you. We love you and appreciate you.
Oh, we love you guys. I mean, you guys help make the show more awesome. So
it's been amazing. This has been amazing. Anytime you send a link, and happy to be here.
Yeah, and Nancy, for real, we should get together and work on your
Thank you. I will send a connection.
There's no reason that you can't have it. You have everything that they're looking for.
Thank you.
Already.
Thank you. I will send a connect. Thank you.
Amen, brother.
And I
what's cool about that too, Brian, is like Joe, when Joe got the capability to do LinkedIn Live, then it was like I didn't have to worry about my vacations anymore. It was like, okay,
right now I'm dependent on somebody else's live to do my shows, and I'm lucky, again, generosity of community, but it would be really nice to know that I had a solid home for my show.
Right.
No, and I'll tell you something. It's great. And Ira, I don't know if I told you, I applied for Joe the finance guy too.
Oh, okay. There you go.
And I put you on there as well, that we do this already. So
all right.
There's different dynamics. So like your business channel, you have to have 500 followers. Your individual channel, you have to have 1,000 plus. And they have their different criteria, basically, they put. But
I have 2,000. I have over 2,000 followers on the business one. So
there you go. Right on.
I've been eligible for
I help business pages grow quick. Well, Nancy, you don't know this, but I made my reputation by helping people grow. That's Project Help You Grow.
The universe.
Project Help You Grow's business page has 23,000 followers, 23,200 at the moment.
All right.
It's one of the things that I learned how to do back in 2018 was how to, like, if you say, oh, I want more followers, I know how to do that. So I can help you get that quickly. Like I said, next Friday, not this show, Follow You Friday, the hashtag Follow You Friday.
Oh, thank you.
Nancy Barrows will eclipse 1,000 just on that day alone. I promise.
Yep.
There you
You're
go.
gonna make me cry.
That'd be awesome.
All right. It'll be my
All
pleasure.
right. So I got to ask, Ira, when we go out of this, do I do our videos first, then go into the song?
Yep. Reverse order.
Make sure you get a download for all of us.
You do the videos first because sometimes it chops it. So we
Yeah,
go
so
video-
Joe,
Yes,
just so you know, Joe, when you end the show and
Good.
you hit the little thumbs up button that says good, up in the top right above the private chat and comments part, you can download the show. And you want to do that. You want to save your shows. Now, make sure you've got space because
I got plenty.
Okay, good. Yeah, download the shows because we'll want those. We'll want them.
You'll want them, but we want them.
Yeah,
Oh.
no.
And
Hey, it's Thelma C.
Thelma C. Hi, Thelma.
Yeah, so
You
you're
guys-
good.
You guys know if you take your video shows and you transcribe them and put that on your blog, that'll boost your SEO on your website.
I don't even know what an S something O is, but that's
no, I did.
Search engine optimization.
Search engine optimization. They don't do it for video content yet.
Right.
They will eventually, but right now it's written content. So what you do is if most people are hosting their live videos as come to bowmandigitalmedia.com, go to joethefinanceguy.com, whatever your website is, and you put the video, but most people are not transcribing. Use Otter AI or whatever you're going to use. Transcribe it, put that as a blog, and then you get keyword pickups, keyword authority for your website.
I'm pretty.
She's like, I'm cute and people like me.
Oh, I forgot to do something. Ira,
I'm ugly, so I have to be a nerd. So I'm
Ira,
a
I
nerd.
forgot to put it up. All the opinions and ideas expressed on this show are of Joe the Finance Guy, Ira Bowman Digital. It has nothing to do with Rent-A-Center or SEMA Credit, who I work for. So that's it. I
Awesome.
just wanted to put that out. Thank you very much.
And thank you, by the way, to everyone that joined us in the comments. You guys are
Yeah.
amazing.
Yes.
Man, the
It's
comments
amazing.
were
Our
popping.
community.
It was a lot of fun, especially
Yeah,
Katie,
we love you guys.
brother.
Love our
We
community.
really got to give a shout out to Mariella, to Raquel. I mean, Tim.
All of them.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
Bill,
and-
everybody.
and
And hey, you
Mark.
guys, come and show up for Shout Out Saturday tomorrow. It's a 4-hour show from 9 to 1 Pacific time. Come
There
have some
was-
fun.
there
Joe will not spoil it for everybody.
That was
Yeah,
a lot.
Joel is not going to spoil it for everybody.
And I'm going to sing on
I
Wednesdays.
just
I'm going to
snorted.
sing on Wednesdays.
You did snort.
I did. I snorted. That's a good time for the video. We should play the video.
Yeah, I'm doing it now. Guys, Brian, Nancy, thank you so much. I appreciate all of you guys. And
Light and love.
I will see you guys tomorrow on your show.
I'm going to
Thank
get a voice. I'm going to buy one of these hoodies. I like them. Voice your vibe. I'm gonna,
Yes.
Yeah, I want one.
I'll take a picture. You know what? When I get it, I'm going to take a picture and put that on Radiating Real.
Ooh.
Yes.
You'll see in a few days a Radiating Real post from Ira wearing one of these hoodies.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna
love
make
it.
tomorrow because of what
See,
Nancy said. And I'm going to do it just like that with my CPAP like this on me, looking like a Darth Vader. Yep, I'm going to do it just because I have to.
Yeah. And will you please tag me? I just want to, yeah.
I will definitely. I'm going to tag. Oh, and I'm going to tag Brian too. So
Yes,
that-
tag. Go ahead. You tag me.
Tag him. Let's see if we can get
You know
him
what?
to-
Did I tell you
Bill
guys?
wants a sweatshirt too.
I got
What's that,
I got
Alan?
emotional this week. It was really a bizarre feeling. So like when I lost my job, it was a weird thing. But then when I ordered stuff, because I'm in the print graphic business for a long time, so I've made all this stuff for other people, but never for myself. I actually got these this week. That's my business.
Yeah.
That's my-
Look at that.
Wow, nice.
That's
So-
awesome.
It's so funny. All this other stuff I've got printed, but when I got these, it made me tear up a little bit. I was being a little bit like Michael Ray, Big Baby. It made me tear up. It's funny how some of that stuff, when you get it, you're like, I can't believe I own my own business. It's so cool.
All right.
It is, isn't it?
It is. All right, guys. I will
Yes.
see you tomorrow. Brian, Nancy, thank you very much for being
Thank
on
you
the show.
guys.
Light and love.
Awesome.
Love to you guys.
See you guys later.
I got to
All
meet.
right.
BowmanDigitalMedia.com.
joethefinanceguy.com.